All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is at this moment in time currently 4:31 a.m. So there's quite a few stories or quite a few things at least that I would actually like to cover, and all of which have to do with the Black community. Now, again, I'm just going to go by the fact that I am just the one to list the unpopular opinions that, people are tend to going to want to hate, disagree with, or try to go back and forth with, which is completely fine and dandy. Again, I have no problem with that. I just tend to state the things that people don't like to hear, which is completely cool, right? So then we're going to roll in to the very first video. And the very first story has to deal with a Black mother, her 14-year-old son, a Black man, and the community who were there who were able to witness all of these events go down. So I'm going to play a snippet. I got two parts to that video that I will play, on top of also reading some other information specifically from the media.
Get your food. Who? Get in the car? Who? Nay. Get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my grandma, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Hello, everybody. I just
Right. So let me just replay that one more time.
get your food. Who? Get in the car? Who? Nay. Get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my grandma, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Hello, everybody.
Right. So within that clip, that small little portion of a clip, now of course it had to be edited because we're not going to sit up there and show the ending results of the altercation here directly on this channel. If you want to do that, you can go directly online to happen to view that. Right. So the end result is that you saw the conflict that took place, right? Obviously, no one knows what specifically was said or happened before the video. So, you're going to have those people that's going to decide to stay. Well, the Black man was, then this, and the Black. Well, this is the fact, right? From the footage that we are able to see that was filmed by obviously somebody else that was there, you saw a Black man deciding that he wanted to act highly aggressive with a Black woman, right? Irregardless of whatever might have been said, which are words, he decided that he wanted to get all up in arms. He wanted to, start yada yada yada. He wanted to start giving threats and all of this other type of stuff, right? He wanted to start talking big and bold because it's a woman at the end of the day, right? So then you heard the mother, right? And she told her son clearly, if you go back and listen to it, she said, "Go back and get into the car." You heard the guy reply, and he repeated basically the same exact thing, sort of in confusion and in anger at the same time. So then, while she was still trying to explain, he was still talking, not even listening to anything that she was saying. Say one more thing, I'm going to sit up there and knock you out. Say something else, and I'm going to knock you. So she's still sitting up there explaining the main thing that she was originally stating, and he proceeded to ball up his fist. And he not only struck her once, which she didn't defend herself or fight back. He then decided that he wanted to sit up there and strike her for a second time. And I think I would like to actually say by that second time, the mother was probably against the wall or on the floor by the way of which his body was angled. Then during that time of the second hit, that's when you can clearly hear a shot get fired, and when everybody started scattering directly out of the restaurant. That shot, mind you, came not from the mother, not from the man, but from her 14-year-old son, right? So, this is what was stated specifically about this incident. A Chicago woman and her 14-year-old son are facing murder charges after a physical altercation inside of a fast food restaurant turned deadly when the woman allegedly ordered her son to fire shots at a 32-year-old man who physically assaulted her. Um, I want to say, I'm just going to say Miss Hood because I don't want to butcher the name. Miss Hood, age 35, and her 42-year-old son have each been charged with first-degree murder stemming from the fatal shooting of the woman beater, Jeremy Brown, at a West Pullman restaurant. Hood, who was also charged with a felony count of contributing to delinquency of a minor, was held on a $3 million bond during a hearing Thursday, meaning she must pay 10% of that amount to be released from custody. Her son, whose name has not been released, is set to appear in juvenile court. Assistant State Attorney Annie McCord Rogers stated that Hood and her 14-year-old son drove to the Maxwell Street Express restaurant on South Halstead Street to get food around 11 p.m. on Sunday. Hood went inside while her son, her 14-year-old son, stayed in their vehicle, but once inside, she got into a verbal argument with Brown, who is now deceased, whom she did not know prior to this incident. The altercation escalated and turned physical when Brown began violently beating and punching Hood in the head at least 3 times. As the violent physical altercation was happening to the mother, the 14-year-old son entered the restaurant, pulled his mother's weapon from his hoodie pocket, and then took the life of Brown to stop him from violently assaulting his mother. Brown, who is now deceased, fled from the restaurant, but Hood allegedly yelled at her son to end Brown as the 14-year-old pursued Brown, who is now deceased, and fired additional shots at him to defend his helpless mother. Brown was struck twice and ultimately died of his injuries. The entire incident was captured on video, according to McCord Rogers, portions which were published by the Chicago Police Department early this week in an effort to identify the suspects. During a bond hearing, Cook County Judge Barbara Dawkins noted that, according to the allegations, Brown did punch Hood, but that he was killed as he tried to escape from the restaurant. Quote, "The threat at this point was over. Things can bear themselves out differently at trial, but that at the point was not defense of others. That was first degree murder." So, as we're able to, in a sense, this is the viewpoint, from the media, right? They stated that the mother was either, texting the son or whatever it is to, come into the restaurant, bring a weapon, all this other type of stuff. And when you look directly at the video, that's not specifically, right, what we just so happen to see, right? So let's just go back to it real quick, right?
Get your food. Who? Get in the car? Who? Nay. Get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my grandma, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
Follow everybody.
Right? So at no point in that clip were we witnessing the mother texting or anything like that, right? The main conversation that she had 2 conversations if people pay very close attention. She was having the conversation, right, with Brown, who was now deceased, and she was also having a conversation with her son that was in the restaurant. That's the person that she was telling go back and get in the car, right? So we can clearly see how some things will not directly match up with how it is that they are writing them when it deals specifically with the media. Now, just for later on, some people might not happen to understand certain things. And even I myself, when I first heard about the incident, looked at the video, I had a quite different opinion and take directly on this, right? But one of the main things that I actually want to highlight is this, which I'm going to go over directly in the live stream with you guys here. Let me see if I can actually pull this up for you, which is this, right? Illinois self-defense law, right? So this is what they stated. Preservation of life is one of our primal instincts. Self-defense law enables us to protect ourselves from injury or death by using a degree of force. The concept of self-defense generally not only applies to literally defending yourself, but also to defending others and property as well. In some cases, states have laws that preserve the right or this right, but these laws can vary when it comes to circumstances under which you can use force and the type of force that can be used. For instance, some states have duty to retreat laws, which require an individual to retreat from the situation before they can use force as a defense. Other states employ laws that do not call for duty of to retreat. These are often referred to as stand your ground laws or castle doctrine, right? So let's go to the Illinois self-defense castle doctrine. Illinois does not recognize stand your ground laws. Instead, it uses a similar doctrine called the castle doctrine. Quote, both stand your ground and castle doctrine jurisdictions differ from duty to retreat states because they do not require an individual to first retreat from the danger before using force against an attacker. However, the castle doctrine gives people the right to avoid retreating in their home in order to protect themselves from intruders. The intent of the law is that your home is equivalent to your castle and as king or queen of your castle. You should not be required to retreat from people who have the right to be in your home. The castle doctrine limits the right to the home as contrast to stand your ground law, which has no such limitation. So again, two different laws. Castle doctrine is directly for your home, homeowners, wherever you reside, wherever you sleep at night. That is to be able to protect yourself versus an intruder. So that some of the other laws in other states where it requires you to basically run first and then use the act of being able to defend yourself as the last resort, which is technically quite stupid in my opinion. This is where those things differ when it comes to Illinois law. And then going back to what they stated specifically about stand your ground. Stand your ground, you can pretty much do that anywhere. If you are even in a public place, if you're going directly to your car and somebody's basically threatening you, harassing you, and it moves over to a physical altercation, you can basically invoke stand your ground because somebody is actively going after and trying to accost you in a physical manner, trying to harm and potentially take your life. Which of those you don't know when the assault is going to end. You just know that you're being assaulted. You have full on ability to basically act and defend yourself, right? And it has no limitations. That's why they stated that. One is for home, the other one is just for the general public. So then we go down a little bit more and it goes to Illinois self-defense laws at a glance, right? Use of force in defense of a person. A person can use force against another if he or she sees reasonable belief that it is necessary to defend himself or herself or another against an individual's imminent use of unlawful force, right? So that's what's being stated, right? That's in a sense what took place. So to better, to further have people understand, let's just go back to the video real quick, right?
Get your food. Who? Get in the car? Who? Nay. Get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my grandma, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
Follow everybody.
Right. So again, the video was cut due to the fact of how YouTube reacts and whatnot. But if you've already seen it, you already know that specifically after he threw his hands directly up, he balled up his fist, and then he just started going directly at the mother. Note, the mother never hit him. She never used any type of force directly on him. The most that basically happened in the video was just verbal. So again, going back to what they stated, use of force in defense of a person. And this is basically dealing with the son, right? The son came in with a weapon and he had to use force in order to protect his mother, right? A person can use force against another if he or she reasonably believes that it is necessary to defend himself or herself or another against an individual's imminent use of unlawful force, right? A person can use deadly force only if he or she reasonably believes that such force is necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm to him or her or another, or prevent a felony from being committed. That's what the son did. That's clear cut what the son did. So let's go to matter of fact, we don't even have to look at the dwelling aspect, because then that deals with the home, right? That deals with the castle doctrine, right? So then we go down to the bottom. Let me just, I forgot to swap over the screens, so I'll probably re-go back over it because I know some people are going to catch up, pretty late, right? Located this is basically about an attorney, right? Illinois self-defense laws are there to ensure that they can, so that you can protect yourself. If you've been charged in a case where you use force to defend yourself, then you could be facing serious ramifications unless you can establish facts supporting a self-defense argument. Have someone on your side that understands your situation and can argue your case, right? So this is what was clearly stated, and this is taken directly from a legal site. So if anybody wants to sit up there and argue, you can go argue with the lawyers who put the site directly up, because you ain't about to argue with me. The main point of the matter is that the young son defended himself. He defended his mother, and his mother had no way of defending herself, right? At all, right? It was a 1v1 situation. Some people are going to sit up there and say, well, that black woman deserve what she got because XYZ, because these black women out here and yada. But we're not looking at the fact that you have a black man here that was overly emotional with a woman, because it's the exact same thing. If it was a guy of a different size, he wouldn't have been reacting the same way. His verbiage would have been vastly different. He wouldn't have been so close in somebody else's personal space. Better yet, let me just put it to you like this. If that was a white cop, if that was a white man, the way that that dude reacted would have been vastly different. And the main thing that I've stated on this platform before is that you have men out here that don't mean any type of good, and they mean women harm. I've shown that a variety of different ways. I've shown a variety of different ethnicities committing these exact same acts on a variety of women. So I've spoken out quite a bit when it came to subjects such as these. But before I start, going into a whole tangent, the next portion of the video that you guys are going to hear comes directly from a woman who states that she is a family member, and she's going to list some things, and along with some of the things that she posted on Twitter, I put those directly associated with the video. So I need people to pay very close attention to the information in this portion of the video, because there are some type of GoFundMes or different things that are going around that are actually false, that are not made by the family. Those are scams, and she is going to explain that in the portion of the video. So let me see if I can swap this over here. Okay, let me take that down. Hold on, let me.
Who? Get in the car? Get your food! If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my God, I say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
Hello everybody, I just wanted to make a quick and brief video regarding my sister and my nephew. Just want to confirm that this is the only active page for immediate family right now. We are continuously working to get them justice and get them out and get them home where they belong. We won't be harassed, bullied, or any of that. We're not going to have any of that. So we just thank you for the encouragement, the love, the support. And if anybody has any pictures, videos, anything that can just help, I will greatly appreciate it. You can inbox me. We have a Twitter, Instagram. We're just trying to get as much media attention, because the media does something where it's people run with one story and then they don't know the truth to both sides. My sister was attacked. She never ordered him to do anything. She never texted anything. Nothing of anything. Just because you see a black boy shooting a gun, that don't mean he's a thug or a vigilante or whatever you may have or call it. But we just want to thank everybody for the prayers. We are staying encouraged. We're staying strong. And I'm going to fight for them. I'm going to fight for them the whole way. So I thank everybody again. You can find us on social media at Hood Family Justice. That is the only page right now that is active. We don't have any other pages. Don't go to any pages like any singular GoFundMes or anything. Again, that's Hood Family Justice. And I thank everybody for the love and support. And we just pray for us that we get through this. Thank you so much.
So you were able to hear specifically what the family member stated, right? And the most important part, before I get into the rest of it, was the fact that she stated that they only have one main page where, you know, people can happen to go to get in contact. That's why I highlighted the information directly in that video, so that people will know specifically where to go in order to actually find them. And the main things that she also stated was that any GoFundMes or anything like that, that is not specifically of them. If they were to happen to post one, they're going to do it obviously from Hood Family Justice, which is the Twitter account that is directly, posted up there. One of the tweets that she had up there was, "What the media and Chicago police refused to show. My sister told my nephew to get in the car. She never ordered him or texted him anything," right? And then one of the other things she stated was that my sister was attacked and my nephew is not a thug or never been in a gang. Justice will prevail. We just need them home. Right? So again, this is it's a sad event. It is a very sad event of what specifically took place. This is something that should have never taken place at all. One of the main things that I've highlighted before when it came to stuff of this nature is the inaction that takes place by people of the community, right? You had people there who were watching these events unfold. That they were probably there before the camera started rolling. There was obviously at least a few men there or whatnot or whatever, or at least a few people there, right? At any point in time, people could have just came through, formed a barrier in between both parties, and just calmed both parties down. That's not what anybody wanted to do. And like I said, I'm listening to the community, because you have both black men and women there who were just watching, like we see in most videos, just sitting back there watching. And then people want to sit up there and be like, "Oh my God, it wasn't that serious," yada, yada, yada. But when you have a time to actually try to step in, like a group of y'all can basically get in between like two people. Like I said, two people that want to fight, they're not about to sit up there and try to fight 10, 15, 20 people or what have you. That's a losing battle. They're gonna, tend to calm down pretty quick. Right? They're gonna calm down pretty quick. But again, nobody wanted to try to diffuse the situation. Nobody wanted to try to say anything. And this is a common occurrence within the black community. This is a consistency within the Black community. This is something that is able to just happen, right? And then it gets to a point where it's of no return. And then we have stories just like this because the community decides that they don't want to react because everybody is a what? Individual. When you go through and you ask Black people, are they part of a community? You hear some people like, nah, I ain't part of no community. I'm an individual. I do this, I do that, all this other type of stuff. Whatever people do, it ain't nothing of my concern. Ain't nothing of my concern. So, again, I keep telling people, things are going to continuously take place and they're going to get worse because Black people in the Black community refuse to act on pretty much anything. You have a young boy who was 14 that was forced to take the role in the position of a man to basically defend his mother because obviously the other men there did not see fit to want to step up and try to defuse the situation. You had a mother that, in a sense, tried to tell her son to go back to the car, but he did not listen. And I understand why he didn't listen. At no point in time do I blame the son for what it is that he did. Any son would do the exact same thing if it came down to one of the women in his family, especially his mother, being assaulted by another man. So again, I do not blame him at all. The person that I do blame is the Black man that was directly in the video who decided that he wanted to get emotional. He wanted to get angry. He wanted to say a variety of things instead of trying to give her a warning, which again, she was not posing any type of threat. He should have sat up there and cooled himself down. Whoever was with him should have cooled him down. But that's not what took place. That's not what happened. And again, you have the lack of action of Black people in the Black community to stop any type of engagement or interaction like this. Because, the funny part is, if this was the police, if this man was like a cop and that was a Black woman, people would have tried to step in. People would have tried to diffuse a situation. Everybody would have been trying to be active, especially if it was a white cop. Everybody would have tried to be active, right? But when it comes down to the fact of Black people doing what is, in a sense, considered normal, Black people don't want to react. We just want to sit up there and stop and stare. Like it's a One Republic song. We just want to stop and stare. That's it. And we want to sit up there and record instead of actually take action. But then when you have people who try to tell you and point out the fact that y'all lack the ability to actually take action to stop situations like this from happening, people want to have a disagreement. People want to have all of these opinions and they want to say all of these things. They want to champion all this other type of stuff, but stay on focus on what the topic actually is and how it is that this can be prevented. Because realistically, you have a lot of people out here that are not about action. They're not about prevention. They're about chaos. That's all it is. So because you have a lot of Black people in the Black community about chaos, this is exactly why we were able to see the end result of a situation. A young Black boy, soon enough, that was going to become a man, he is potentially going to be parentless because he decided to take on the actions of a man. He did something of what a man should do. And no child, no teenage boy should have to take over the actions of what a man should initially be there doing. It don't matter if it's the husband, don't matter if it's the boyfriend, the fiance, the father. A 14-year-old, that is not a 14-year-old's job. And that's the one main thing that I keep trying to state. But when you want to highlight these things, again, you have a lot of people that don't want to listen. They act like they can't hear. They act like they can't see what is obviously there and what's obviously a problem. Like I said, it's sad, and no telling what's going to happen to the young man because we already know how the system is. And again, because of the lack of action from those that were there filming and watching and listening this whole time, this 14-year-old, it's over. It's over. He had to do something that no 14-year-old should ever have to sit up there and do. That is not his job. Those are not the actions that a 14-year-old boy should have to take. Should not. It shouldn't even have made it that far. At one point in time, if this was a different black community, 90s, 80s, 70s, it would have been vast. People would have actually stepped in to defuse the whole situation. It would have been a whole different thing. Stuff like this would not have been allowed to transpire the way that it did, the way that it was filmed, the way that we saw it. But again, we don't live in those times anymore. We live in a time of individualism, individuality. People want to say that they are a part of a community, but they're still separate at the same time. It's crazy. And this is what it looks like, right? So, again, dealing with the black community, let's continue, right?
Yo, what's crack?
And this one is this has to do with the brother Ice Cube. And let me just state this. Let me just state this. Now, when dealing with Ice Cube, I covered this quite a few times, and I have been directly in this man's corner, especially when I've made those videos, because I was watching the black community. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say community. I was watching black people sit by and just have Twitter figures just be online as a black man was um, literally, there was like a smear campaign for that duration when Ice Cube came out with this plan. So when you had both Biden and Trump at a point in time, both in their power positions, Ice Cube went directly to the Democrats. And he was like, yo, I got this plan for the black community, XYZ. It's like, yo, it's a pretty good plan. It's a solid plan. And there's still room for adjustment and all this other type of stuff. He specifically told people, I have my plan. You can go and read it if you want to online for free. And if you see any problems or you think that there needs to be any type of revisions, then you can use this contact here and you can add directly into that, right? Black people had a problem with Ice Cube's plan, even though a lot of them, 90+% of them, did not even take the time to even sit up there and read anything of it. Nothing. So then it came to a point in time where he was like, all right, whatever. So the Biden administration wanted to put me on hold, no problem. So let me let people know that I'm about to go to the Trump administration because he's in power right now. And I'm going to try to see if I can get some stuff done since, some things are, moving. The black community crucified Ice Cube. Literally sat by, didn't need white people to do it. I literally sat by and watched black people crucify this man for trying to come up with a plan and trying to get it into somebody's face so that the plan can be enacted. You got a whole bunch of inactive people in the black community that magically want to have an active opinion, even though they're not out here taking any type of action, and they want to turn around and crucify and judge a person for trying to be in a leadership position, even though they don't want to be in a leadership position. If you ask a lot of people now, would they want to be the leader of black people or the black community, hold all of that responsibility, anything, 90+% of black people will say no. They will tell you that I'm not responsible for nobody else but myself and my family and my kids. That's it. Right? Because that's all there is in the world. That's it. So again, black people always state that they want leaders. They state that they want people to sit up there and guide them, keep them focused, and all of these other type of great things. But when you put a person directly out there, black people are like, oh man, that's the wrong message. Oh, that was the wrong person. We shouldn't have a celebrity do it. We need somebody grassroots. We need somebody from the community. This, that, all this, that. Black people got all the excuses of the world, but then will still turn around and still not be the solution. And it's ridiculous. Just like Gail said. And that's because the black community doesn't care. And that's 1,000% right. 1,000% right. 1,000%. Because, like I said, I've listed some black men before who have tried, and I'm saying at least tried, not just talking online, sitting up here disagreeing with somebody. They've actually tried to be active, tried to be proactive, tried to get some stuff done. But yet again, you have the inaction of black people in the black community, but yet they want to sit around and critique and complain while still not performing any actions or being a part of any type of solutions, because they don't want to hold down that part of the responsibility. They don't want to bear all of that weight because they know what comes with it. So like I said, it makes no sense to complain if you're not about to go out there and actually start the walking and actually start doing. If you're not going to put your face directly out there, you need to shut up. And that's just 100%. Because in this live stream, we about to be getting on everybody today. So if you had a disagreement, chances are y'all ain't gonna show up. Y'all just gonna stay in the background. If you had a problem with the 2 live streams that I did about Umar Johnson and talking directly about black men, I'm still talking about black men at the end of the day. Still doing it. But now I'm listening to a black man that actually came up with a plan and that was trying to enact that plan, but he ended up seeing resistance from both everybody in the black community. Ain't that something? Like I said before, a lot of those people that got a problem with me, they weren't speaking on Ice Cube. They weren't speaking up on Ice Cube. They were being silent. They wasn't doing nothing. It wasn't doing nothing but just sitting back watching, sitting back commenting, sitting back having Twitter fingers. Why you got a black man out there trying to be a leader? Trying to do, and this is the other funny part about this, right? Ice Cube is the same brother that came up with the big 3. Where are all of the black men that have a disagreement with me to sit up there and go support Ice Cube in the big 3? Where are they at? Where are all of those groupings? Because the funniest thing about it is, at the end of the day, what Ice Cube is trying to do in order to alleviate a systematic problem and in order to elevate black men, he's also helping out black women and their sons, because those black men are somebody else's sons, right? Those are Ice Cube's sons. He don't have no responsibility to or for them, right? But yet he's still performing an action in order to try to give them a whole nother arena in which it will be better directly for them, and not just for the ones that are in the NBA, but also the ones that are coming up. But yet, where are a lot of those black men who have had issues basically stating that a black man shouldn't be taken care of or caring about somebody else's kids? Because that's clearly what Ice Cube is doing at the end of the day. Don't matter if they are grown men or not. Those are still somebody else's sons at the end of the day. Those sons still have black mothers at the end of the day. So it still falls directly into the exact same thing that I was stating before. But yet there's going to be silence directly on that. But anyways, let's just get into the video of what Ice Cube had to state.
You know what it is? It's your homeboy Ice Cube. And some of you may not have realized that I'm not part of the club. And a lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either. And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their fucking club. That pisses them off. What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are. A lot of people would be like, what, who? Come on, man, stop playing. So ever since I put out the contract with Black America, you know they've been fucking with me. Here and there, this and that. But it's cool, you know. I expect that. You know, I've been working with, you know, on the big three for a long time. And you know how they've been fucking with me with that. I done made it, you know, plain, simple, and clear what they've been doing. You know, the NBA been fucking with us. Now, a lot of people might say, like, well, but Cube, you want to work with the NBA. Really, I don't give a fuck about working with the NBA. What I want them to do, when I say work with us, is to stop working against us. Stop doing that bullshit behind the scenes that we know you're doing. Mainstream media, you know, they ain't fucking with us. And that's cool. We can do it ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We still on the rise without these motherfuckers. So we don't need them, you don't need them, you know? So what am I gonna do to deal with these motherfucking gatekeepers? Well, what I'm gonna do is go on a Fuck the Gatekeepers podcast tour. And I'm gonna go talk to everybody, you know, and get a chance to get my message out to the people. Be able to let people hear from me, you know. And you know, you might agree, you might not. But the important thing is, you know, for me to go on these platforms, say what I feel about what I think. And, you know, some people may get pissed off because I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm not playing. And it's gonna be a crazy summer. It's gonna be fun. Appreciate y'all. Always support the big three. Hopefully I'm doing stuff that you guys dig. You know, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for people that's bored as fuck in the summer with summer sports and want something cool like the big three. So here we are. Appreciate you. Much love, much respect from your homeboy Ice Cube. Remember that.
So we were able to hear specifically what Ice Cube stated. And the fact that, yes, in the Black community, we do have gatekeepers. We have those that have power to change. We have those that can really put you in front of, you know, other people, but they refuse to. They want you to do certain things. They want you to beg and plead. They want you to jump through hoops and loops and do all of this other stuff, right? Even though you yourself are trying to do something that's going to not just benefit you, it's going to benefit everybody, right? But you have people out there that are specifically put in place in order to stop other Black people from doing certain things. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about gatekeepers. And there's a lot of them directly out there. You can even look in the media. You can look in the media. You can look at other Black celebrities as well. Because the one main thing that should stick out to a lot of people is the fact that when you think about Ice Cube and the big three, why is it that a lot of the Black celebrities who are rich, who are wealthy, who are millionaires and billionaires, why aren't they actively trying to pour money, infuse money, invest money, right, into what it is that Ice Cube has been doing for quite some years? All of them that are directly on these talk shows or these podcasts or whatever it is, why don't you see them actively trying to speak up for Ice Cube, trying to get him as much attention as possible so that this can be very beneficial, not just to the Black men that are in the NBA, but also to the young boys in college, to your sons that are in high school. Like I said, people not even looking at the larger scope of this, because far too many times over the years, this is what I've seen. When I look at the NBA draft, which is white owned, you sit up there and see white people looking through the field, and they're like, all right, what's the best Negro out here? Who's the fastest? Who can jump the highest? Who can do this? Who can do that? Right? And then they'll sit up there and have your name in this raffle. Then they'll put you on stage, auction, and basically show you off. It's like, yeah, this a good Negro right here. This is a good one. He can do all around. He can play these positions. Look at his wingspan. Look at how fast that Negro can sit up there and run all this other type of stuff, right? But it's different when you have this set in place by somebody who is black and somebody who understands, because you're going to be looked at and deemed as a human being and not just a piece of property of which that they can, figure out how much money or try to quantify the amount of money that they can, make directly off of your body, right? Because no matter how much you might hear that a athlete might get a 100 million, 200 million, 300 million dollar contract, best believe best believe that that corporation, that entity is going to make 10 times off of that celebrity. They're just handing them a loan. They're handing them money that, they already know that they're going to make back. That's all it is. It's not money that the person purely made off of themselves. That's not what it is. It's the same thing that record companies do to black people at the end of the day. They sit up there and give you like $1 to $2 million. You think you sat up there and made it, but they gave you a loan at the end of the day. And they expect that record, whatever, or you being that artist, to be able to pay that back 50 times that amount. And then you still not going to own nothing. And then they're going to put you into another contract. Right? Case in point, you can look at stuff. You can go back and look at TLC, and you can especially go back and look at 50 Cent and what it is that he had to go through dealing with his contract. You can go back and look at Dave Chappelle. You can go look at what he had to sit up and go through when it came with the amount of money that he was able to make. Because sometimes it comes to a point where these corporations, they tend to theorize this number, and then that individual can skyrocket over that number. And then they're like, oh, well, you made, a ton of money. You brought in a ton of money, but we're only going to give you 5%. Right? So you can bring in $500 million, and they're like, we're you brought in, more than what we expected. We're going to only give you 5% of that. We're only going to give you 2% of that. So they're keeping all of that money made directly off of you. So again, going back over to Ice Cube, he's making this. This can be something a whole lot larger than what people even are viewing it as. Because again, you have some current NBA players or some ex-NBA players sitting up there playing in the Big Three. You can also move this directly to a college type arena. You can also move this to a street ball arena, something like a Rutgers, type of arena. He can touch a multitude of different fields doing this. And then again, that's still a small scope that I'm painting for you. A larger scope, because I'm not sure if, depending on the age of people here, if you think about And One, I was a huge fan, still a huge fan of And One to this day. Right? And One street ball, it was dope. It was the flyest thing out. I loved more And One than actual NBA. And then you have people, the NBA fans, like, oh, well, and street ball is not even real basketball. It's this, that, and the third. These people would never make it in the NBA and all this other type of, it was all this other type of stuff, right? And 9 times out of 10, a lot of guys who are NBA fans don't even actually play basketball. They don't even got a jumper. They can't even cross nobody over. They can't even do a simple layup. They can't even do a pull-up. Right? But they want to sit up there and talk about rules and who can do this and who can do that. Some of these dudes can't even run 5 feet without sitting up there running out of breath, running out of steam. But yet you got all of this energy to talk about athletics, and you ain't never been athletic in your life, except for when you sit up there and order something from Uber Eats and having a beer directly on the side. But anyways, I digress from that. The whole point is that this can go from something that is like a local small type of thing to a major United States thing to a world tour type of thing. And that will be a lot larger than the NBA. That's what people don't even understand. And it will be started by a black man. But yet the problem is black people don't want to support it because black people don't see white people support it. I'm just going to be honest. Black people aren't really going to support something unless white people do it first. So because white people ain't pouring all of their money and attention directly into it, black people don't see the worth in it. Black people do the exact same thing when it comes into artists as well. Now, of course, you got some artists who sat up there and got popular because of black people and yada, 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 all this other type of stuff. But a lot of black people didn't happen to know about that artist, right? But until that money starts getting poured in, when those white dollars start coming in, now black people are like, yo, who was this artist? Like, yo, I never heard, like, I might have heard this music. Like, yo, this music is actually fire. Like, I'm looking at the record. But again, they wasn't paying attention to it when you have a small segment of black people basically propping them up. It takes for everybody else to make something black popular for black people to actually care about it. And that's just a fact. I ain't seen it too many times before. Too many times I've seen too many artists come out that were small. Black people didn't sit up there and know who they were, or if they heard of it, they called them garbage. The moment in time that they started skyrocketing, they started doing tours, they start showing up. The music is like everyone on TikTok, IG, and all this. Magically, everybody become fans overnight. Craziness. So again, no, sorry to say, but not sorry. The only way realistically for Ice Cube to really get this done, he would technically have to enlist the help of other communities. Because we have the black community don't even have a community. We got individuals that are a part of something. That's what it is. Like I said, what that something is, I don't even know what to tell you because a lot of people roll up and tell you that I'm an individual, 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 I'm an individual. Like I said before, it's crazy. Everybody's an individual up until it comes time for something to happen because something negative took place. But if ain't nothing negative going on, everybody an individual. I represent myself. This is what it looks like when you have a lot of individuals in the black community that don't want to think or move as a community. Let this have been a Latin man who came through and he was making a basketball team or some basketball type of arena for his people. Do you know how many people who are Latin across the United States and elsewhere in the world would have came through and been flooding that organization with hundreds of millions of dollars? It would go from the poorest of the poorest to the middle class to the richest of the richest in the Latin community. They would have made sure to sit up there and support that man so that nobody has control over that but them, so that they got to say so and the rules, so that their language is spoken. They can do anything that they want to sit up there and do. But you know what happens with black people? Black people like to stop and stare. Shout out to One Republic. That's what black people like to do. They like to stop and stare. And then when things ain't moving, that's when they want to sit up there and be like, yeah, I knew that wasn't going to work out. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew we couldn't sit up there. Black people are the main ones that will sit up there and wish on your downfall while sitting up there smiling in your face, telling you you're doing a good job. That's black people. That's the black community. I'm sorry. Those are the black individuals. Those are the black individuals. Because going back to the plan that Ice Cube originally had for the black community, how the black community, it's going to be funny to now say that, looking at everything now. I'm sorry, I can't say black community. The black individuals who are in America opted to go against Ice Cube. And it even went to the effect where you have Vivica Fox and many others who had a podcast, television show, whatever it is. He appeared there and he wanted to talk about his plan. And the women there decided that they wanted to basically haul off and just attack him. They wanted to attack him. They wanted to attack the plan, all this other type of stuff. Again, black people, all of which are individuals. But The only time that black people seem to be a group is when they want to bring down and take down and talk negatively about somebody else black. Ain't that something? Crazy, ain't it? Crazy, ain't it? You know, the funniest thing about this is when I talk about a community, when I talk about support, let's just look at the Hispanic community down there in Florida, right? Notice how they were all working, right? We know that people from the Hispanic community, Latin community, Mexican community, whatever you want to sit up there and call it, Spanish speaking community, um, they will work together in order to put other people on. If one person is working contracting and there's like 7 to 9 other men in the family that don't got no jobs, they're going to make sure to get every single one of those men. Don't even matter if it's digging a ditch. It don't matter if it's holding a street sign. It don't matter if it's passing out water. They're going to make sure to get all of those men jobs. Could you say that for black individuals out here? Nope. But I've witnessed other communities do it though. Ain't that something? And then when anything happens, right? So we saw what happened in Florida when they started the E-Verify thing, right? Where it was like, if you're undocumented or whatever it is, that you can't work here. And everybody that was able to work, even if they were documented, right? Even if they were legally there, right? They were like, oh, you're trying to come against all of us? Oh, that's all right. You got it then. So we're going to sit up there and move somewhere else. We're going to pick up shop and we're going to move to some other states and we're going to sit up there and keep on working there. So now you got a whole bunch of construction in Florida. You got a whole bunch of construction sites that are barren. You got homes there that are basically rotting from the inside at this moment in time because they're not being finished. That's what you got. That's what a community looks like. That's what unity actually looks like. And it's funny that I can, if I wanted to, I could literally put this together and showcase this happening a multitude of times in everybody else's community. The only time that black people want to really unify is when it comes to tragedy. You can sit up there and look at Black Lives Matter, right? You can look at all these marches, all of these protests. When it came about the police and all this other type of stuff, that's when people want to protest. That's when people want to march. Whenever somebody dies, whenever somebody is shot, whenever somebody is wounded, right? Magically, people want to start banding together. Only in tragedy do black people want to sit up there and band together. Case of which, the most time that any black person, chances are, will sit up there and see their whole family, an actual family reunion, is at a funeral, and that's bars. I don't care if you're an individual and you're talking about, oh, we throw family reunions every single week. I don't care about your individual ass. Stay your ass directly to the side. For the greater majority of the black individuals out here, and I know this to be a fact, the only time that people actually see their families is during a funeral. It ain't during a graduation. It ain't during a baby shower. It ain't really during even weddings, because you'll still have family that still ain't going to sit up there and pull up. All of these happy engagements that normally happen in a human being's life, family ain't about to sit up there, a whole family ain't about to sit up there and pull up. But we'll make sure to sit up there when Big Mama died, we'll sit up there and pull up. When Pops died, we'll sit up there and pull up. When Unc died, we'll sit up there and pull up. We'll do this for all of these tragic engagements, but we'll never sit up there and do it when somebody is alive, when positivity is actually happening in somebody's life. Let somebody be down in the family because they sat up there and lost a loved one or a child. Magically, everybody there to console that person. But instead of that person losing that child, let that person, that child sit up there and just graduated high school or college. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Oh, that's right. Because it ain't nothing bad and sad, y'all ain't gonna show up. Because obviously the only thing that black people gravitate towards is tragedy. If you don't believe what I'm talking about, listen to the music that we got. And I don't even have to list the music that we got in the of now in the 2000s. I can go back to the 90s, go back to a younger period. I can go back to the late 80s, 90s, and look at the tragedy in the music. Look at the death directly in the music. Look at how that attracted generations of black youths during that time, both men and women. And look at what that's culminated to now, generation after generation. Black people are attracted to tragedy, and that's a fact. It ain't no dispute. It ain't no dispute. And it's crazy. It is 1,000% crazy. No, it's like, you know what? I'm not even worried about DeSantis even trying to be president. I don't even care. Whoever's president don't even care because they're not even really in control. It's the people that's filling their pockets that actually have the real control. Like I said before, people got to follow the money. And I put it to you like this, right? I will care about the presidency the moment in time that black people are actually pouring millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars into somebody's pocket. That's the moment in time that I'll actually care about a presidential race. Up until that point, I don't care. Because black people ain't putting money up in there. Y'all don't the black community don't got no PACs, no super PACs, none of this stuff going on. The Hispanic community got it, Jewish community got it, white community got it, everybody else got it, but black people. So it's funny to sit up there and try to say black community when everybody wants to act as though that they're individuals. So I'm like, we don't got no community then. And this is why everybody else can easily come into the black community. They can still intake black culture. They can do whatever they want. And it's going to, and this, let me just put this out there. You're going to have a such thing as transracial. We already seen the cloud around the iceberg dealing with Rachel Dolezal, right? Who is a white woman, born and raised white woman who identified and tried to masquerade and portray herself as a black woman, did every single thing, including some random black kid. I don't even know who that kid was, but that's what she did, right? Just like you have people that are able to say that I'm a dragon, I'm a dog, I'm a horse, I'm a doorknob, I'm this, I'm that. You're going to have people that are going to be able to identify and actually say legally that they are black, even though visibly we can see that they are not black. Never even had the black American experience, anything at all. You know why that is? That's because there's no such thing as a black community. We don't got nothing but black individuals. So if everybody in the black community is an individual, who is there to actually protect black culture? Is it actually black culture then? Or is it just culture? I think it's actually just culture because, again, in order to have something considered to be a black culture, that would mean that you would have to have a community, something around it in order to protect it, in order to allow it to exist, to be exactly what it is. Scarface sat up there and said almost close to a decade ago that within about 10 to 15 to 25 years, rap is going to be white. And I've been slowly watching rap transform directly into that. But like I said, black people don't know and black people don't understand up until it actually hits their doorstep. By the time that rap becomes white, I don't want to hear nobody black sitting up there crying and screaming, talking about, oh my God, what's happening? We got to do something. Nope, it's too late. Because rap ain't a black thing. It's an everybody thing. So now I got to think back to what I said in previous videos when it dealt with like Fat Joe and when it dealt with Busta Rhymes and how it is that they're just able to come in and they can say that, yo, the Latins created this, the West Indies did that. You know what? They right. Because we don't got a black community. And if we don't got a black community, then rap and hip hop ain't black. It's just a community thing. It's just an American thing that everybody had a part of. Like I said, it's crazy. It's 1,000% crazy. Like I said, and this is the one thing, like I said, I look at everything that I do as documentation. I get to, in a sense, chronicle certain things and watch how it is that the public and many other people happen to think directly out here. And then I can go back and look and show this to those exact same people like, well, this is what you said. You said that you are an individual, which means that other black people in the community are also individuals as well, which means that we don't have a community because a community means that people have to be cohesive. That means that people would actually have to agree to get something done. In order to have a community, that means that you would have to have protectors and people that actually want to protect things in a community. But from everything that I've been basically putting out and seeing in live streams and in videos, there are no protectors in the black community. I ain't talking about individuals. Again, if you are an individual, keep your individual ass directly to the side. I'm talking to the other 95%. And that's just me being generous. But I'm talking to the other 95% of the black community directly out there. Right? All you individuals, the 5% of you individuals, stay your ass the individual side, stay to the side. Because you individuals. You don't consider yourself a community or a part of a community, you're individuals. You say that everything that you do is individualized. You say that nobody in the black community represents you, nor do your actions or anything that you do or your family do represent anything of the whole of the black community. So again, stay your individual ass directly to the side. So again, when I look at what is supposed to be a black community, all we got is individuals. We don't got no protectors. We don't got no people working together. We don't got people banding together. We don't got people building together. We don't got people loving each other. We don't got people sharing with each other. We got a whole bunch of individuals that's complaining about individual shit. But they're complaining in a way to make it seem like it's a group. It don't even make sense. And the same thing I said up there and stated for other communities. We're not going to do this. You're either Clark Kent or you're Superman. That's it. We're not playing this role where you're both. We're not doing that. You pick one and you stay with one. Y'all want to keep moving from side to side whenever a problem or something negative arises. Magically, it's a community. But then when it's something positive, no, that individual did that. All this other type of stuff. When it's something negative, now y'all want to come together as a group. It's crazy. It's 1,000% crazy. I wonder why it is that Ice Cube is going through the things that he's going through. It's because we don't got no black community. I've been watching all of this stuff happen for so long, and I've just been watching how black people are. Some people will sit up there and say, well, oh man, you just focused about, just the black people on the on the internet. That's a small segment of the black community. Nah, it really ain't. It really ain't, because the thing that people forget is that how people act online, that's them in real life. They can just do it behind the anonymity because they don't have to be accountable for their actions, and they can say whatever it is that they want to say, whatever is in their heart of hearts, however they actually really are, they're going to do that. Like I tell people, however it is that people act in video games like Grand Theft Auto, that's actually them. So when you got people sitting up there talking about like, yeah, I love Grand Theft Auto because I get to sit up there and commit all of these crimes, and I get to sit up there and rob people, and we get to, do this with these escorts and these prostitutes, and I don't got to face no, that's them in real life. If you allow people to be able to live their life as they do in Grand Theft Auto, you will see how really jacked up society is. It's jacked up beyond recognition. People don't even realize it. Like I said before, it's just sad. That's the best way to sit up there and put it. That's the best way to sit up there and put it. It's the fact of the matter that you got too many black people in the black community that view themselves as an individual, but then want to sit up there and complain about something that don't have nothing to do with them. If you're an individual, then if whatever's happening out here don't have nothing to do with you, then don't have nothing to do with you. So you might as well leave it. You might as well just sit up there and mind your business on it. You might as well not even sit up there and speak on it, because you're not going to fix it. You're not going to be a solution to it. So why even speak on it? Why? That's a waste of energy. I keep sitting up there telling people this. If you're going to speak on something that you ain't going to try to be a solution to, you better off using that energy to try to sit up there and better yourself. But 9 times out of 10, people are comfortable with who it is and where it is that they are in life, so they don't see no way in actually bettering themselves because they don't want to. Because that falls into the whole thing of unknown, and it falls into change. And a lot of people are afraid of 2 things. Well, I'm sorry, 3 things. People are afraid of fear, people are afraid of the unknown, and people are afraid of change. And all 3 of those are directly within the black community. All we know in the black community is sorrow, hurt, and pain. And that's the main thing that black people just so happen to find comfort in. The other two things are envy and jealousy. So this is another reason why we got Brother Ice Cube up here talking about the gatekeepers and stating the things that he's been sitting up here stating, because he's been one of the main black men that I've seen out here that has at least tried to come up with a plan, that has put himself in a leadership position, that has created certain things to not just benefit him, but to benefit other men as well. And those men, let me just reiterate again, those men that he's benefiting, those are somebody else's sons. So he's stepping into the role of a mentor, or maybe better yet, in the sense of a stepfather, right? Because if you actually talk to a lot of mentors, they'll sit up there and tell you that a lot of those kids that they mentor, those kids look up to them or even refer to them as their father, as their dad. But like I said before, I acknowledge and understand that a lot of men are afraid of that type of responsibility because they've never been shown a type of responsibility or a type of leadership. Because a lot of black men out here lack fathers, they lack uncles, they lack grandfathers, they lack positive black role models, so they're afraid. So what do people do when they're afraid? They decide to sit up there and start living comfortably in that fear by spreading deceit and all of these other types of things, telling people not to do this, not to do that, because they refuse to do it. It's great. Like I said before, if you're a black man and you refuse to do the things that Ice Cube is doing, that is completely fine and dandy. You don't got to do that. I'm not expecting you to sit up there and do it. Again, I'm going to repeat myself. To a lot of the black men that want to reply to me in the comment section underneath some of these live streams and these videos, I ain't talking to you. Step your individual ass directly to the side. I'm talking specifically about the black men who are willing to actually sit there and act and not just sit up there and talk. I had some brothers up here that told me that they were like, part of these things, teaching and all of this other type of stuff. That's great. That's cool. No problem. If that is the case, then you need to stay focused on what it is that you are focused on and allow others to be focused on the things that should be focused on. It's a little bit confusing to actually see men have a problem with an opinion that don't specifically call them to the scene in order to take the necessary actions that are needed. If I was specifically calling you by name in any of these videos, then by all means, talk that shit. Talk. I have no problem. But when I sit up there and I look at it and I see the people who disagree, I noticed that I'm like, I never called any of y'all to the scene. I never asked any of y'all to do any of these things. But yet you still opted to speak because you felt that you needed to speak for whatever reason, which again to me is quite crazy. Quite crazy. Like I said, I'm not exactly certain what is going to, specifically take place, or what is going to happen with the black individuals that are directly out here. It's a little bit crazy, right? So let me just highlight something real quick, right? Because this is going to fall into the next topic that I'm going to roll directly into, right? So we got somebody that wanted to feel as though that they were standing up for women or what have you. So they wanted to, let me know that I was 1000%, in the wrong with my opinion and what it is that, I just so happened to have stated, right? So let me just try to get that for you guys and highlight it. Let me just do that, right? So this is what we're looking at here, right? So This person said, and this was about the video that it might have been a live or a video that I did where it was talking about the girl from Home Depot who has now lost her job, and Sukihana, right? This dude said, shaking my head, no, sir. The way a woman chooses to dress, the presentation is not an excuse or gives the right to uh, a sick effort to violate a woman. Stop trying to justify a predator's actions and blame the woman, the victim, for a predator's sick actions. Men in the comment section have already proven it doesn't matter how you dress because they are saying that the Home Depot girl should be on OnlyFans. Women get sex trafficked, kidnapped, and raped every day. What is the reason for this? Their presentation? There are sick men in the world. That is it. The beginning and the end. Stop blaming women, period. You, Seiji, are part of the problem, so do us a favor and STFU. Right? And the funniest thing is, I've literally done videos advocating for women. This is the problem that I have. Before I break this down, men like this that want to show up, and this goes to anybody, right? Any man, any black man that's out there, if you feel like you want to roll up and you want to start defending women, this is what I need you to do. Hold on, let me just get my face right. Hold on, let me just get my face right. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Let me just let me just get my unshaven face directly up here. I gotta actually make this inactive again. All right, so as you can clearly see my face here, you know, this early morning mug, unshaven as always, because we're broke out here. I need you to shut the fuck up. Kindly and respectfully, because you know the funniest thing is a lot of the men that come up here and try to advocate or act like they're advocating for women. I never seen none of y'all niggas roll up here when I'm sitting up here doing live streams and videos telling women that they need to arm themselves. Let me be more specific. When I make live streams and I do videos telling black women that they need to arm and protect themselves, that they have the right to carry, they have the right to defend themselves, that they should not have to deal with abuse, either from a man in their life, either from their sons, family, or other men in the environment. I never see none of you niggas roll up to the scene and have all of this rah, rah, rah energy. Like when y'all want to sit up there and try to do shit like this. I never see y'all pull up to the scene. The main thing that I've always gotten is a whole bunch of backlash and disagreement and mouth from like dudes sitting up there. Oh, so now you want to sit up there? You already know that there's a divide in between black men and black women, and you know, and all of these things that's happening. So now you want to give these women weapons to be able to take our lives? Well, you know what? Like I said before, if some of y'all are stupid enough to have an argument with a woman that has a gun, better yet, if you're stupid enough to really be out there in public trying to even argue with a woman like the dude that was in the video in Chicago or sorry, Illinois, it is what it is. If something inevitably happens because of your lack of emotional control as a man, that is on you. That's not on the person that has the gun. That's on you. The lack of acceptance and responsibility that I continuously see within the black community is baffling to me. I don't want to hear no shit talking about, oh, well, the white man, slavery, the systematic. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit, because for this circumstance right here, when it deals with people being able to protect themselves from those who are within the community who, in a sense, mean and deem them harm, I'm talking about this shit right here. This don't got nothing to do with nothing else. White people don't got nothing to do with this shit. Black people out there sitting up there killing themselves, killing other people in the black community right now. That don't got nothing to do with black people, white people. Nothing. The lack of accountability, responsibility, acknowledgement of one's own actions is ridiculous. But like I said, all of y'all want to act as individuals, so I see where the problem lies. It's right there. Nobody wants to be accountable. Nobody wants to be wrong. Everybody wants to be right. Black men hate black women. Black women hate black men. And in general, the black community hates black kids. don't even really take care of them. And I'm going to generalize like hell. And I do not give two shits. Don't. You can be a person that's a great parent, all this other type of shit. I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, whatever you did could easily be erased by somebody else's inactions. So you can raise your kid to the best of your knowledge. All it takes is for somebody else's kid to come in contact with yours, and everything that you did is gone. Now you planning a funeral. Now your kid in a vegetative state. And this is due to the fact of the inaction of Black people in the Black community. I'm sorry. This is due to the inaction of Black individuals in an American society. I got to keep rewording myself because we don't have a Black community. I got to keep reminding myself because whenever you have a community, that means that you have support, you have protection, you have value, you have respect, you have camaraderie. You got all of those things. The Black community lacks all of that. People always, talking about the banks and all this other type of stuff. We should have more people, more Black people in the community wanting to come together to formulate their own banks. That's not a responsibility that a lot of Black people want to sit up there and do. We complain about the education system in our states, cities, whatever it is. Black people in the community should come together and try to formulate a plan to start building up schools, but that's not a responsibility that Black people want to do. Black people don't want to be responsible for that. They just want it to be there just so that it looks pretty and they can say that something is being done. It's like we would take pride in somebody else doing something versus us actually doing it for ourselves. That's crazy. We still, from other states, we're still looking for a form of reparations when realistically we could have came together and been had that money many times over, but we refuse to do that. We want to sit up there and keep spending money with white folks. We want to start buying like Jordans, Lucci, Gooey. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Louis Gucci, all that other type of stuff. Want to keep buying all that expensive stuff. Want to still go to the liquor store, still buying Hennessy. Y'all want to still sit up there and go buy the wraps and all this other type of shit from the liquor store. Y'all want to do all of this other nonsense, feed money into the Arab community, feed money into the Asian community, feed money into the white community, feed money to the Jewish community. But you know where you're not feeding money into? The Black community. Because we don't got nothing but Black individuals. We don't got nothing but Black individuals. It's crazy. It is completely crazy how it is that all of this shit works. And again, we got about like 54 people on the original channel. Shout out to y'all. We got 24 people directly on the new channel. Shout out to y'all. I'm just a little bit confused on why it is that a lot of the men who rolled up when I was siding with Brother Umar Johnson, where are they to sit up there and to be speaking up on some of the things that I just already talked about? Because like I said before, I'm fine if people got, if they don't approve of something that I said, but I expect you to have that same energy all the time. Don't, like I keep telling people before, don't come here once or twice and you want to decide to pipe up and you want to start motherfucking speaking. Have that same energy every single time. If you ain't going to sit up and do that, it ain't no reason for you to talk then. You ain't serious. If you don't have that energy every single day, you ain't serious. That's how I look at it. When I got to sit up here and I got to talk to y'all and I got to, cover these stories, I got to have energy. Is pretty much there every single time. You got different types of levels of energy. Energy is there every single time. It's not no inactivity. There is some sort of activity that is going to be there no matter what story I sit up there and do. Like I said, some of y'all were the same ones that sat up there and came to some of the videos where I might have shed some tears when it dealt with the loss of life in the Black community. It could have been a woman, a child, a man, whatever it was. And y'all still wanted to roll through and try to say that I was being emotional. I'm like, damn. And I sit up there and look at it, I was like, at least I actually give a fuck. At least I actually care. Because a lot of y'all lack empathy sympathy. Y'all lack any type of emotion at all. Even when it comes to your own kids, y'all lack emotion. You can't even be proper fathers because some of y'all y'all never even had that. So y'all think that in order to be a proper man, in order to be a proper father, like you just got to be stone cold. You ain't supposed to be having no emotions on nothing. So then this is why your kids grow up, even with you being there, your kids sit up there and grow up and think that you never even sat up there and loved them at all. This is why they do all of these extraordinary things to try to fight and get your approval, because they're trying to look for that actual human reaction because you lack that. But you think everybody else is the problem but you. It's crazy. And the funniest thing is we've seen this. Let me just take real life directly out of it. We've seen this depicted so many times by way of media. And the reason why you see it depicted is not due to the fact of social programming. That's because there are actual things out there that are consistent. So if it's there enough, it's going to show up. So if you actually have men throughout history that are this type of way, where it's like, I lack emotion. I'm not going to shed a tear. I'm not going to hug my kids. I'm not going to tell them that I love them. If you decide to sit up there and do that, then guess what? They're going to depict that. Like I said, I've seen that in everyday life. And I've seen how those kids basically start breaking down when they're older and they start having mass resentment towards their fathers. And then even at that point, they're so directly in that stone, you can't even chisel them out. Ain't nothing you can do. You can't even reach them. It's too far gone. Like I said, just like how you got women out here that got a problem hearing the truth, you got a lot of men out here that got a problem sitting up there hearing the truth. Because a lot of y'all ain't never heard truth. Because the only way that you can deal with truth is by trying to sit up there and either kill somebody or trying to sit up there and fight them into submission. That's it. Y'all can't even sit up there and have a simple discourse with somebody and just let it be words without magically the potentiality of somebody losing their life. Like I said, I done seen this too many times. I don't even need to sit up there and bring in the news. I don't need to sit up there and bring in any of the stuff that I've been covering over the years. I've literally seen this in Detroit. Simple arguments end up going into fights. I done seen this going to high school, Oak Park. Never forget it, in front of Happy's Pizza. Two dudes basically had some words. One dude might have bumped into each other. It was over something stupid. Something stupid, something small. Long story short, fight sat up there and happened. Police called. The front window of the Happy's Pizza restaurant was completely shattered and broken. They had to sit up there and get it replaced. Like I said, you got a lot of consistent problems directly in the black community, and that's due to the inaction of the black individuals in a community. Like I said, y'all can't make up y'all mind on what y'all want to sit up there and side with. At one moment, y'all disagree with the fact of how it is that women are acting, how they're sitting up there showing their bodies to the world and all this other type of stuff. But then the next moment, you want to sit up here and say, no, Seji, actually, you're the problem because you're basically justifying the actions of predators. How? I literally used an example of men. This is the crazy part. Like, a lot of y'all want to go out here and y'all want to save women that you like I said, for some of y'all dudes out here, I don't know if you think that some of these women out here are going to fuck you because you're defending them, but they're not. They're not going to see any of the comments that you're leaving. They don't care. More than likely, the other women that are in the comment section that are part of this channel, they probably don't give a fuck either. So again, I'm really trying to understand, whenever y'all roll up here to the comment section and y'all leave this shit directly under videos, who are you specifically trying to get the attention of? Who are you trying to get the validation of? Because it's a little bit crazy. It's 100% crazy. Like I said, y'all be flip-flopping all over the place. Y'all say that women are confused and send mixed signals and all this other type of stuff. This is what y'all be sitting up here doing. One minute, y'all be sitting up there calling women hoes. The next minute, y'all want to sit up there and be with the hoes. One minute, you complain about women being like independent. The next minute, y'all be complaining about, yo, I got to do too much work. I ain't trying to do all this for a woman. She don't even deserve it. All this. Y'all just as confusing as some of the women out here. Y'all can't even stay on the path that you set up there and directly painted for yourself. But you got the nerve to sit up and want to roll up here and you want to try to critique me on what it is that I'm basically stating, even though I literally gave a clear-cut example on two men, one rich, one that is just got some money, right? Putting the accountability and the responsibility where it should be placed. So let me go over this example again. You got a rich man. He flaunts his money, right? He's amongst his own crowd and all this other type of stuff. Obviously, he flaunts his money. He knows it's going to gain him all types of attention from who? The women that he wants to sit up there and be with, right? So those women are going to do what it is that they do, and they're going to use their bodies in order to get access to that money. Long story short, something happens, right? Usually negative. Somebody's going to paint a picture that this dude was a predator, that this dude tried to do this, that, and the third. Guess what? Who are people going to blame at the end of the day? They're going to blame the man for putting himself in that situation. They're not going to sit up there and blame the woman, right? Same situation, different scenario. Man flaunts his money, gets the attention of a woman. Long story short, they go back to the place. He ends up getting drugged. He gets robbed. Are people going to blame the woman, or are people going to sit up there and blame the man for what took place? People are going to blame the man. Why are people going to blame the man? Because people understand that if you take certain actions, there's going to be a reaction to that action. So the action that the man took was what? I'm going to flaunt my money in order to get some type of attention. Don't matter if it's good or bad. The reaction to that was that the attention came, they saw, and they enacted their own plans. Other situation, you got a guy in the hood, got a little bit of money, want to sit up there and show off and all this other type of stuff in front of people like he really got it, like he's really that guy, right? So of course it's going to gain attention from like everybody, because now everybody want to be around him because he looks like that guy, because he got that money, right? Long story short, other dudes basically see him, black men, they basically be like, oh, you think you that type of, oh, you think you better than us, right? Because you got that jealousy, you got that envy, you got that type of thing that people feed to themselves because they're seeing certain things, even though that's not what's really being presented. So then those guys decide to really show him what that guy really looks like. So they get up in the group, they plot, they rob the dude, or they inevitably end up taking his life. So who are we going to sit up there and blame in this situation? Are we going to sit up there and blame the actions of the guy showing off his money in an impoverished area? Or are we going to sit up there and look at the black men that were in an impoverished area looking for a way to alleviate certain things on top of many other things going on? I'm going to sit up there and look at example A, who was the man that decided to come to an impoverished area knowing that people are hungry, knowing that people are sitting up there struggling and starving, and you want to sit up there and act like you got these millions. If you decide to flaunt what it is that you have, you're going to have certain people out here that are going to react to it in a way of which you didn't expect. So again, going back to the women that want to do certain things, they want to act sexual and all this other type of stuff. It fits within the exact same scenario. But it's like I said, it's amazing to me when people want to roll up and want to act like they Superman, they want to put on a cape, they want to start, really trying to save some women on the wrong things. And I give you a clear-cut example, and I talk about the men. Like I said, you want to talk about the women, but you want to talk about the examples, the real-world examples that we've all seen happen of black men flaunting money. But you don't want to list that in any of the paragraph, the novel, the book that you decided that you wanted to respond back in. This is why I need y'all to shut up. Because y'all hard of hearing. I know I went to Detroit public schools, but goddamn, shit. I don't know where y'all went. That shit, y'all comprehension level is, I don't know where that shit is. That shit is crazy. It is madness. 1000% madness. 1000%. But like I said, unpopular opinion, I'm the bad guy. It comes with the territory. So now we're going to go to the next thing here. Oops, not that one. We're going to go to this one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I told y'all we still got a little bit of time left. I can get some stuff directly out of my system, or maybe some things might just so happen to change. Anything is possible, right? Because no matter what I do, I'm still going to get attacked. So it don't matter, right? So I put up a video just recently on IG. Some of y'all can, if you know where the IG is, um, you can actually go view the video. I'm not going to put it up here, but you can basically see the actions that took place, right? So this is Suki Hana, right? Who is a woman I've covered quite a few times on this platform. And I've stated that she basically um, is within her sexuality, right? She promotes sexuality. She promotes sex, right? This is what she does. This is her job, right? This is her, right? This is her brand. Cool, no problem. So in the video, well, yeah, in a small little picture that you see, you have two black women. This is at a Detroit concert. Suki Hana basically bends over, and you see this black woman in the orange basically licking all up her backside. No matter if she's wearing clothes or not, she's really trying to get in there. When you see that video on IG that I put together, she is really up in there. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, what? Like, what is really? Do you even know? Like, this is. I'm trying to get my thoughts real quick, because we just recently had a video, right? And it was with Osiris, right? Everybody saw it. It was about like a month ago. Young dude, young rapper. He sat up there, was kissing like Suki Hana, right? And everybody was like, "No, you shouldn't have done that. That was like assault. She didn't consent to that. All this other type of stuff, right?" I'm trying to figure out where was the consenting directly in this, because you got two women basically licking directly on her backside, all up and down, right? And some people might say, well, the difference is she consented to this. No problem. I got you. I got you. So this is why I made this. The clip is actually 40 seconds, because when you go to part two of the clip, I showcase something from a whole different concert where Suki Hana is laying all the way back. Like it's almost like she's crowd surfing, right? All of the women that are in the front of the crowd are grabbing all over her body, feeling and touching all over her body. One of them, her legs are completely open. The woman has her hands directly in the crotch area, rubbing, doing this and all that other type of stuff. And the question that I posed in that second video, I'm like, did she consent to all of those hands touching on her private parts? But like I said before, women ain't gonna say nothing on that. Why? Because it's not a man doing it. Irregardless on if a woman consents or not, it's fine if a woman does it. It's not wrong. If a man does it, even if it is consent, it's still wrong, because it's a woman's body at the end of the day. And I'm like, how do we get here? I could have sworn wrong is wrong. I could have sworn if somebody is being assaulted in a type of way that is deemed wrong, that it is wrong for everybody. But what I'm learning from women out here is that it's only assault if a man does it. I don't care. I'm going to put it to you like this. She could have bent over. Let's put it like this. If she bent over in front of a guy and that guy was sitting up there doing that, do you know how quick guys would have jumped that dude? How quick the security would have been on that dude? Now, her bending over is showing consent, right? She's consenting to that because it's happening on stage. If a guy were to have done that, do you think that there would have been a negative reaction and backlash? 1,000%. Do you think a second guy, if he would have came over and started licking on her butt, that there would have been negative backlash? Of course. So again, in that video where you see this woman praying to God, like, yeah, you number one, you allow me to do this. Oh yeah, I'm happy. She not praying for it to better her life, for more money to sit up there and come, to better her situation, to better her family, to better her job or her car or her home. She's thanking and praying to God that she was able to lick on a celebrity woman on stage in front of everybody else. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I never in my life, because we all know how this would have worked out. I done covered a multitude of videos. If a black man were to have done this to a black women everywhere would have been sitting up there screaming bloody murder. I done showed y'all the comments from Twitter, IG, wherever. I done these live streaming these videos before to basically show proof of what it is that I'm talking about. But whenever I sit up there and showcase evidence like this, I don't see black women online screaming and talking about bloody murder and talking about this is what we're talking about. We're always getting sexualized. We're always viewed as this. We're always viewed as that. This is why other men disrespect us. And I want to just reiterate on both of those videos. Black women are the only women there touching all over this woman, degrading this woman publicly, disrespecting and devaluing this woman publicly, feeling and groping all over her publicly. It's crazy. It's 1,000% crazy how this stuff happens. And I never hear feminists or any of these other women out here wanting to try to down talk the actions of black women. Craziness. And I've seen this at a field of concerts. Anytime a black woman is close to the stage, other than Beyonce, who basically demands respect, and Rihanna, who is going to be like, I'm going to hit you with the mic if you touch me. Other than that, whenever you have these type of concerts and there's black women at the front, they're always in the front. They're the main ones sitting up there touching, trying to get close to that woman to try to really reach up on her. Nobody's saying nothing though. And this goes into the other aspect about the whole thing where people in the black community, people in the black community want to always point towards black men being on the down low, wanting to play both sides of the field. I need people to start looking more at these concerts and looking at the fields of women who are sitting up there getting drunk. They're near the stage, and how they're looking directly at that woman, how they're sitting up there trying to reach out and touch her and feel on her when she turns around and pokes her butt up, and now they want to rub on her butt and everything. Nobody questions that though. That's mighty suspicious to me. I guess only one side can potentially be playing both sides of the field. If women sit up there and do it, that's just what women do. There's nothing assaulting about that. Women can't assault other women. Women can't do anything negative to other women. It's only men. That's what I'm learning. That is clear cut what I am learning when I look out on social media and I see the reactions that take place whenever it is that women do things like this. And that goes back to the comment that the dude stated. So again, for a lot of those dudes, what do y'all got to say about this? Nothing. Are you going to sit up there and say that these women are basically predators? Are you going to say that women that sit up there and start touching and feeling on a woman without her consent, are you going to sit up there and label them as predators? Nope. Y'all going to shut up and y'all just going to sit there and watch, and y'all going to basically imagine, because it's a dream. And you just trying to picture yourself somewhere up in there, even though they ain't thinking nothing. Those two women ain't thinking about you. They not even interested in you. They don't even know that you exist. But yet you want to cape so hard. And y'all talk about me. That's crazy. That's 1,000% crazy, man. Some of y'all out here, I don't even know what to sit up there and tell y'all. I don't even know what to tell y'all. It's crazy. Like I said, if anybody wants to look at that clip in that video, you can go directly to the IG. You can go to the SEIJIHITO IG, and you can go look at it. It's the very first video that is up there. I posted it before I went live to make sure that y'all be able to sit up there and see what it is that I'm talking about, just in case I got, to this point or whatnot, whatever. Like I said, it's crazy. It is 1,000% crazy. So like I said before, I might not do my content as even like this where everybody's getting hit, but I do this in the content all the time. But it's just that a lot of y'all don't want to pay attention. Y'all think that y'all being singled out A lot of y'all think that y'all, man, why you gotta be talking about black men like this? This ain't all black men doing it. I'm not sitting up there doing it. Then shut the fuck up. Just shut up. If you're not doing it, then stay your ass directly to the side and stay silent. You don't. If you're not giving a solution to the problem, shut up. It's no reason for you to add to the conversation. No reason. Literally, no reason. Zero. But yet y'all still want to sit up there and run y'all mouth, and y'all still want to talk, even though y'all don't want to be put in the position of a leadership role to want to be a solution, to want to actually enact some type of action. It's crazy. But then when you got somebody like myself that want to sit up there and try to enact a type of action, that want to try to speak to people, that want to try to get through to black people, black individuals, then y'all want to run y'all mouth and y'all want to start speaking. That's crazy. Like I said, if y'all disagree with me, that's cool. But have that same energy all the time and also start making your own platforms. And I keep telling y'all won't. 9 times out of 10, whenever I sit up there and put out this call for a lot of the people that dislike me and disagree with my talking points, start making your own platforms. Start speaking to the people. Start reaching as many people as you can. And let's see how long you last and how you can sit up there and roll with it. Let's see. Let's see if you'll be sitting up there trying to do that for about like 4 to 5 years. Let's see if you can sit up there and do that and handle the hundreds of thousands of comments and the different things that come with. Let's see if you can sit up there and do that. Because like I said, a lot of y'all just be sitting up here talking. Because a lot of y'all just looking for attention, which don't even make sense. It makes sense, but it don't make sense at the same time. I said I've always been about solutions, and I've talked about solutions. I've pointed out the contradictions, the hypocrisy within a lot of these things that I happen to showcase. And I bring up what I feel. I'm sorry, feel is the wrong word. How I look at it, I bring up very valid points so that people can basically compare and contrast. But again, like I said before, if people feel offended about something, they're going to, in their minds, feel that it's specifically about them. They're going to start talking, and then they're going to do whatever. But like I said before, if you're going to have like the energy and basically say that I'm defending predators, then that means in return that your comment is not specifically, putting the blame on anybody. You're just like, oh, black men are basically at fault. No problem. So who's at fault here? Because there ain't no, when you look at that video that is on IG, black men are not at fault. You're not going to say that, oh, well, if black men didn't sit up there and sexualize us from the beginning of time, black men have control of our image, black men this, black men that. That's absolving the individuals who are here that are taking part in these negative actions that will further lead to the degrading or the degradation of the image of black women. And I keep trying to tell people that regardless of how it is that these 3 black women decided to do it, they're going to look at all black women within this image. Even though there was 3, they're going to look at all black women and be like, yo, this is what black women like to do. This is what the time that black women sit up there with what they be on. So going back to what I stated about my example before, who's to blame for this? Are we going to sit up there and blame the hypothetical or the magical black man that doesn't exist here? Or are we going to put the responsibility of the black woman that did this action? I promise you're still going to have people out there that's going to be like, oh, it's still the black man's fault. Because then they'll be like, well, if the father was there, if the uncle was there, if the grandfather was there, if there were black men that actually cared that were there. Like I said, it's crazy. It's just, it's 1,000% crazy. It's crazy. It is so crazy. Let me see. Let me see what we got. What we got. Yeah, double standards. Right. Here's the reality nowadays. Nobody can hold them accountable, especially as black men. This is the thing. This is the thing. Um, let me just reiterate. Let me just reiterate for a quick second, right? Let me go back to this because I'm showing two different things here, right? The image that you see directly up here is a black man that's trying to be responsible for the black community. He's trying to be beneficial. He's trying to do something good, right? He tried to enact a plan for the black community to thrive, right? To actually get something. So then that technically failed by way of the inaction of black people in the black community, by way of black people wishing on his downfall, hating directly on him, being envious, being fearful. So then you got the same brother that made a basketball league for his own people. And he still has people betting against him and not supporting him. And that's the black community. So I just gotta reiterate and touch on this because I don't want people to just start rolling up here and they want to start trying to make this whole thing about black women this, black women that. Let me just get something very straight. And it's cool. Like much appreciation to you, right? You sit up there, you work with kids. That's cool. You got your role, right? That's your lane. Stick directly to that lane and make sure you protecting those kids, right? You're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing because that's the road that you decided to put yourself directly in. Because again, you said you don't care about adults, no problem. In this instance, for these two scenarios, I'm talking about adults. I'm talking about the inability and the lack of action from black people in the black community, right? In general, black people do not support Ice Cube. I'm just going to sit there and keep it a buck directly with you. Nobody's going to show me any type of concrete proof like, oh, no, you're wrong, Seji. Black people really do roll with Ice Cube. No, you're talking about the few individuals. I'm talking about as a quote unquote community. Black people have not and damn near never have supported Ice Cube. This is why he has to go through all of these different press junkets in order to get his message directly out there, in order for a message to be seen. And again, some people will be like, well, Ice Cube wouldn't have to do that if he would come up with his own platform. You know, he's rich and all this other type of stuff. He can easily sit up there and do that. He could. He could. You know what? He very easily could come up with his own platform to get that message across. But you know the funniest thing about that, because it's not white owned, black people ain't going to listen. Black people ain't going to support. Black people not even going to venture to it. How do I know this? Because I'm on at least, I think, 4 different black platforms. And black people, no matter how much I might have talked about these platforms and other people might have talked about these platforms, black people still didn't show up to these platforms. You know where black people are? IG, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and also Twitch. Those main 4 to 5 platforms, that's where black people are. So all the other black platforms that are directly out there that exist, black people ain't looking for them. They ain't trying to search for them. They're not trying to dial it in, nothing. But yet want to turn around and complain about platforms and all this other type of stuff. This is why I told people before, I can be on a multitude of these other platforms, but that don't mean nothing if people ain't willing to go to those platforms. Don't mean nothing. Because at the end of the day, black people will only support stuff when white people support it or when white people create it. And those are just facts. The NBA, that's all white. Black people supporting that, right? All right. The NFL, white people created that too. Black people support it. All right. Hockey, technically, it was created by black slaves up there in Canada, but it has now been co-opted and redesigned, and it is now white owned. And you have black people that support that too, right? Yeah. So, like I said, it's like we're dealing with the inaction of black people in the black community. We're dealing with the lack of accountability and responsibility of black people in the black community. Like I said before, I entertain the whole conversation of black women this, black women that, black men. Again, I entertain it because that's where y'all at this moment. Because a lot of y'all can't see past that because of, as I stated, in probably over like 15 to 19, whatever different live streams, a lot of y'all suffer from whatever hurt and pain that y'all went through in the relationships and the wrong choice. And I'm talking about specifically for the black men, because I didn't said this enough for the black women directly out there. So, and people didn't want to listen. So I'm going to try to basically peer and look to the people that should be able to think logically, minus the emotion. A lot of y'all brothers out here, you are incapable of basically seeing past the hurt and the pain that you have suffered from previous relationships due by way of the black women that you have been with and chosen to be with or just sleep with for that one time. So because you lack that inability and you still want to be in that hurt, you still want to be in that pain. We already hear all the time that men be like, oh, y'all need to get over that guy and all that other type of, a lot of y'all black dudes out here, y'all need to get over those women that hurt you. It might be even your mother. Your mother might have sat up there and hurt you. She might not have been there for you. She might have did all this other type of stuff, right? But you still loved her no matter what, right? Get over it. Like I said, if we're going to use a certain logic towards women, we got to sit up there and pinpoint that towards men because men are supposed to be the leaders, right? So get over it. Whatever women set up there and hurt you in life, get over it. You need to shape up. Stop being so emotional. Like I said before, I can generalize all day long about a lot of stuff about black women. But at the end of the day, when it comes to specific things that I've gone through in my life, there are specific black women that are individuals that are not a part of the broader group of black women. I know how to divide those two and know that they're different. A lot of y'all don't know how to do that. But then y'all want to get mad when people start sitting up there generalizing black men. Pop meat kettle? You don't see a problem? Lost in translation? Like I said, a lot of brothers out here need to shape up. Y'all need to get it together. Y'all need to go see some therapists. Y'all need to go talk to somebody. I don't know what y'all need to sit up there and do, but y'all holding in and harboring all of this negative energy from past black women that you decided to sleep with, you decided to be with, you decided to have kids with, you decided to have unprotected sex with. You can't blame nobody else but your dumb ass. You can't blame nobody else but your dumb ass. You decided not to act. You wanted to act with your dick instead of acting with your brain. That's your fault. So if you're rolling up here with like 3 to 5 to 7 kids and you complain about baby mama this, baby mama that, well, maybe you should have wrapped it up a multitude of times. Maybe you should have put a garbage bag on it. Maybe you just should not have acted with your dick. How about that one? Because a lot of y'all are irresponsible. And that falls in again with the whole thing, the compare and contrast with Ice Cube. You got a man of action that is trying to do something for the black community that's not sitting up there trying to say, Jesus, take the wheel. But you got a lot of other black men out here that's like, man, that ain't my responsibility. I ain't about to do this. I got to worry about this. I got to worry about that. All this other type of shit. That's crazy. And y'all wonder why it is that we don't, quote unquote, have a community, that we don't have togetherness. We don't have cohesiveness. You wonder why it is that we're so divided. Black men don't care about black women. Black women don't care about black men. And both don't care about the kids. So here the fuck we are. One big happy family. As in a reflection of your actual fucking family. Like I said, y'all wonder why so much dysfunction out here. Look at your families. Look at all of the dysfunction directly in your families. Like, it's crazy. It is 1,000% crazy. All right, you said that you try working with adults, but it's like beating a dead horse. That's cool. Focus on the ones that you can get to. Let me highlight that one for you so you know who I'm responding to. Focus on the ones that you can get to. What's the problem with that? So out of 10 people that you sat up there and focused on, you were able to sit up there and reach 2. Focus on those 2. Give those 2 forget the other ones. Focus on those 2. And then from those 2 is going to sit up there and multiply. It don't matter if it goes slow or however it goes, 2, 4, 6, 8. It's going to sit up there and start reaching some numbers. Because word of mouth is going to sit up there and take place from those ones that you were able to reach, which means that just like you were able to reach them, they're going to bring like-minded people directly to that same conversation. And that's going to broaden your expansion. That's what you're supposed to sit up there and do. Like I said, you're not supposed to sit up there and just give up, because trust me, best and believe, you know how many times sitting up here doing this platform, I wanted to sit up there and give up on the Black community? Lots. And that's just being honest. That is just me. Like I said before, I'm not like everybody else directly out here on social media. I'm going to sit up there and be as honest as can be directly with you. I am only human. That is it. That's all I can sit up there and be. There's a multitude of times that I've sat up there and been on this platform. I'm like, yo, this ain't even worth it. I'm not sitting up there getting through to people. Why am I sitting up there wasting my time on people that wouldn't even waste time on themselves? Why am I sitting up there showing love to people and value to people and respect to people that don't even love, value, and respect themselves? Why should I even sit up there and do it? I have times like that a lot of the time. And then I have to sit up there and fight through that emotion and face the logic of it. And the logic of the situation is that irregardless of the naysayers, the fearful, the deceitful, the envious, the jealous, all that other type of stuff, amongst them, there are still people that are listening. There are still people that are actually here. Those are the people that I need to sit up there and focus on. So it don't matter if I'm sick, don't matter if I'm tired, don't matter what I'm sitting up there going through in my life that people don't sit up there and know about. I do my best to basically be here so that I can be here at least for the people that sit up there and listen. I'm 100% demonetized on this platform. And I'm still here. Not making money off of nothing, but I'm still sitting up there doing this. Am I sitting up there receiving the support that I think that I should be sitting up here getting? No. No, especially for the amount of effort and stuff that I've set up there and put in here. Nope. But I'm still sitting up here doing it. That's the whole thing. No matter what happens, you don't sit up there and give up, because if you got a goal, if you got something that you're supposed to do, if you feel that you can sit up there and potentially reach people, that you even got like 2 people sitting up there listening, those 2 people made everything worth it. Those 2 people made everything worth it. Mark said, and again, just like Tippy would normally state in the comments section, that it is men's mental health. Mark said, I'm an advocate for men's mental health. We are behind in this area, and I'm trying to teach my sons the importance of. See, that's what I'm talking about. You said that you're trying, which means that you are doing. You're being active. You're being proactive, right? You're not just like sitting back and just letting Jesus take the wheel. That's all I'm sitting up there saying. Right? More men need to sit up there and do something like this, even if it's not. Now, in Mark's instance, he's doing that with his sons. In the other instances that I've listed, this is something that Black men should be doing in the community, even when it comes to other Black men. Because like I said, everybody want to run from the conversation, right? When I sit up there and say that Black men should be trying to, like, mentor, look after all this, try to be a positive influence in young Black kids' lives, whole bunch of Black men want to raise Jesus take the wood. It's not my responsibility, not my responsibility. But then when I sit up there and state that Black men need to sit up there and, look after their brothers, take care of their brothers, they need to, check on them emotionally. You know what Black men start doing? Silence. Magically, they're not there for that part of the video. Magically, they don't want to buck up. Magically, they don't want to leave a comment. Magically, people ain't trying to sit up there and talk about, oh, let me call in. Let me have this conversation. Let me have this debate. Y'all want to debate when y'all feel like y'all got a leg to stand on. But when it's something that you can actually control, like a lot of y'all brothers out here got brothers, but you ain't trying to sit up there. When I sit up there and advocate to sit up there and show them love and respect and value, y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all ain't trying to say, oh, no, they ain't my responsibility, brother. I'm worried about myself. I'm worried about my family. Y'all ain't trying to sit up there and say nothing. Y'all ain't trying to pipe up. Like I said, a lot of y'all don't care about nothing but yourselves. Y'all selfish. And y'all wonder why it is that you got other people sitting up there acting selfish out here in society because it's a reflection of home. The reason why you got so much murdering and killing and raping and stealing out here is because it's a reflection of home. Everything stems from home. You got a whole bunch of homes and a whole disarray in the black community, but ain't nobody trying to talk about it. But then y'all want to complain when that disarray starts reaching your doorstep. It's too late. It's too late to talk about it. Just move like you always do. Just run away from the situation like you always sit up there and run and don't look back. Don't even speak on it. But you're not going to do that. You're still going to talk on it. You're still going to try to pipe up, even though you ain't been no solution to it. Like I said before, the only thing that I've basically been trying to advocate for as a black man that was quote unquote a statistic is advocate for black men at least being there. And even with me stating that, there's a lot of resistance. A lot of resistance. And that's cool. That's completely fine. That lets me know that people who are unable to actually do something, unable, they can't, they won't, they don't. That is completely cool and fine. Stay your ass directly to the side. We don't even need to have a conversation on that. Wait until I do a video about black women or something like that where you can actually speak. It ain't no reason for you to sit up there and speak on something that you ain't going to be active in. Like case in point, let me go back to one of the comments that was left on a video that I did before. Because I sat up there and had somebody that decided that they wanted to leave a handy dandy comment, right? And like I said, it's cool if people disagree with me. That's completely cool, But we're gonna talk about it. That's what we will do. So give me a second while I put this directly up there for you guys so you can see the whole of the conversation, right? Let me see which, gotta pull this directly down. Right, so let me swap back to my screen here, right? So this was a conversation that somebody has said, right? And it's dealt with the Umar live stream, right? I gotta go to the larger screen. They said what Umar is saying is good if you can get the actual kid's father to do what he's supposed to do. That's where the problem is at. But to tell a man to help take care of another man's child just to make the community a better place is not the best advice to give. You will have 5% of black men trying to save the community while the 95 are not doing what they are supposed to be doing. I tell you what, step in and help a female with children and let me know how far you get. Right? And as I clearly stated, I said that I've been doing this since the age of 20. So miss me with that. I'll step in and I'll tell you and step in. Like I've been telling people directly on this platform, a lot of the stuff that y'all say it is not even going to matter to me because, again, I talk about the actions that I've at least done, especially when it pertains to specific topics. And I'm sitting up here literally talking from experience. So this is how I know that a lot of people are inexperienced about some of the things that they just so happen to make comments about because they've never actually lived it. Because if you did actually live it, you wouldn't sit up there and tell somebody, well, I'll hold my breath, but you go find somebody and step in and let me know how that goes. And he's doing pretty well. He's a beautiful, smart kid. He is also a gamer, and I love him to death. And I wouldn't sit up there and, change it. I really wouldn't. But like I said, a lot of y'all don't understand and don't know exactly what that is. Because at the end of the day, everybody in his family knows, regardless of how the situation is, that I'm basically his father. His mother knows that, yo, go talk to your father about it. Me. When he wants to sit up there and ask for something, whatever it is, like, yo, dad, yo, So, like I said, irregardless of whatever it is that y'all be saying directly on the internet, living experience is vastly different. So I'm living from that actual experience, right? So then you have somebody else that rolled in. They were like, Dr. Umar's pandering. Sorry, aside from blood, no man should be raising another man's kid. Mentoring occasionally, it's possible. However, the men that help is what enables these lovely ladies to continue down the same cycle. I know dudes that have went to the hood to help and got robbed or ran out of there by black women and their kids. This is my thing. What type of black women are you dealing with? And I keep sitting up here because we're talking about responsibility here. And I'm hearing the lack of responsibility on the example of a man, because you're stating that, hey, you the other guy, he was like, well, you'll have 5% of black men doing it, and then the other 95 not. Why are you worried about the other 95? Worry about the ones that are actually doing their job. Focus on them. That's the problem. That's one of the main problems. We give so much clout to the negative black people in the community that we don't give any praise to the positive ones. So what? We got 5% of people sitting. We need to be hyping them up. We need to be sitting up there praising them, so that when the younger generation is sitting up there looking at and trying to figure out who it is that they should gravitate towards, they're going to look up towards the positive ones that we praise and that we put up there versus the negative ones. Because every time I go on social media, who's getting highlighted? The negative. You're not going to find black people in the black community that's every single day conversation where they're like, yeah, they're hyping up somebody black. They're hyping up a black business. They're hyping up this. They're hyping up this. And it's all black everything. And it's all positive. Not doing it. But they'll make sure to sit up there and tell you something negative, especially if it's about a friend or a family member, running their mouth gossiping, telling other people's business. And it's always negative. But y'all never want to sit up there and gossip about something that's positive. Craziness. Y'all wonder why we got the problems that we do in the black community. And then you're saying that if the good guys help out the women who are struggling, then that's going to enable them. And the main thing that I simply said was that I need black men to be more responsible and stop sleeping with women unprotected. How about that one? How about that? How about that? Because I talked to an irresponsible black father before. So like I said, miss me with a lot of this bullshit that y'all be saying in the comments section. Like I said, it's crazy out here. The lack, the excuses. Like, people just don't want to be responsible for nothing, even if it's by your own actions. You got a lot of black men out here right now sleeping with the wrong black women, having that one night stand, sleeping with somebody continuously, day in and day out. And like Russian roulette, you know that there's going to be a chance that you're going to potentially catch an STD or you're going to potentially get somebody pregnant. And you just playing Russian roulette. But then y'all want to roll through in the comment section, sitting up there talking about, man, the good ones are just going to enable, the black mothers out here to keep doing what it is that they're doing. How about you sit up here and you tell black men to stop having unprotected sex with black women and creating kids that they don't want to take care of? How about that shit right there? Like I said, I get tired of y'all sitting up there rolling up. Y'all, anytime I do a video and it's about black women, I'll have my opinion on stuff, but it's for critiquing. It's not because I hate somebody or anything like that. It's to try to hopefully better the situation so that some of the black women that are watching that might be at that point, they might sit up there and change. They might, you know what? I'm not gonna. Said you was talk. I'm not gonna do that. Maybe it might be their daughters, and they see the way their daughters acting, and they might be able to spot something before because they saw a video or heard me basically talking. That's what I'm hoping to sit up there and get towards. Because like I said, I ain't trying to see somebody's black daughter out here acting sideways. I ain't trying to see your black daughter out here acting sideways. But like I said before, anytime I start doing these videos, y'all magically want to start showing up and start talking about black women this and black women that. But when I start sitting up there talking about the responsibilities of black men in the black community, y'all silent. Or y'all want to sit up there and say I'm simping, I'm enabling, all this other type of shit. But yet, I'm looking at y'all actions and I'm like, so if I'm enabling stuff, what are y'all disabling in the black community? Are you disabling the lack of black men that don't want to be fathers? Are you disabling the crime in the black community that's happening persistently and consistently by way of the lack of a family unit, a lack of a father in a house, the lack of an uncle, the lack of a positive black, male role model? Are you disabling any of that to make sure that the negative stuff can stop? Nah. Y'all come through all the time sitting up there want to speak on black women this and black women that, but you ain't sitting up there talking about the stuff that you stopping. I can point out the stuff that I've stopped. I can point out the stuff that I've tried to help with. So again, I'm talking from experience. And I'm talking to a lot of inexperienced people. And like, again, a lot of y'all are older than me. And y'all talking the same way that I be sitting up there seeing these divestors talk about black men. And I'll be sitting up there trying to defend y'all. I'll be really trying to sit up there and defend y'all. Y'all done seen the live streams. Y'all done seen the videos. I done literally made 30-minute videos going through comments, sitting up here defending black men. And then I'll sit up there and turn around and do these videos. And then here y'all come sitting up there doing the same thing that divestors do. The same thing that y'all complain about black women doing, y'all sit up there and do directly underneath these videos. Craziness. Both of y'all lack responsibility, acceptance, and acknowledgments for your own actions, but y'all want to turn around and blame everybody else. But then y'all want somebody to be a leader. But then when somebody tries to be that leader, y'all want to sit up there and shoot that leader down. And then you want to complain about why don't nobody want to be a leader. It's because y'all want to kill them every single time. Y'all want to crucify them every single time. Y'all don't want to listen to nothing. Y'all like children. Like I said, a lot of y'all older than me, y'all act like kids. It's craziness. I ain't never seen this before in my life. Like I said, I don't know who raised y'all. I don't know where y'all grew up, where y'all came from, but yo, so it's an injustice that took place with a lot of y'all. Y'all too old to be acting like this online. Y'all too old. Like I said, y'all need to get y'all mental health together. Y'all need some severe therapy. Like, yo, y'all need to really sit up there and work on forgiving whatever woman y'all had in your life. Work on that forgiveness. Work on yourself. Stop drinking, stop smoking weed, stop sleeping with women, stop doing all of these other things to escape the pain that you need to sit up there and face that is still persistent and consistently there because you've never sat up there and faced it. Start actually working on you. A lot of y'all be sitting up there saying that, yo, black women need to start working on. A lot of y'all niggas need to start working on yourselves. Like I said, I've been technically documenting my journey on basically working on myself. Y'all can basically go through a variety of live streams, a variety of videos, and sit up there and see the different changes and transformations that I've sat up there and made. So at least from my aspect, I can sit up there and say that I'm doing and I'm trying. A lot of y'all just sitting up here talking and never did. Just like your fathers. And this comes in again on why it is that we have the society of which black people reside in the state of which it is at this moment in time. Right? Like I said, it's crazy. It's 1,000% crazy. 1,000% crazy. And, stuff just ain't going to get fixed. It ain't going to change. It ain't going to get fixed. It's, in a sense, going to be what it's going to be. Because, people are people. But again, I ain't trying to have people get confused on what I do here as this person on this platform. I talk about any and all. I talk about the black community. I talk about the black kids. I talk about black men, black women, elders. I talk about everybody. So if you want to sit up there and get offended, obviously you fit in one of those areas. Obviously, you're not logically inclined to actually see past your emotions. So you're going to sit up there and go towards the offensive route. Just like somebody who's not really capable or able to fight, they're going to go towards the end route, which is grabbing a gun versus actually fighting. So I get it. Let me see. Come across. Let me see. What we got? What we got? What we got? Yo, also shout out to everybody here. We got about 64 from the original platform, and then we got about we got 30 from the second coming. Shout out, much love and appreciation to everybody that is actually here and listening to me ramble. Uh, right. So what we got here? We got McKinley Smith said, me and my grandfather did the same thing. We raised my stepchild. Like I said, that's how community is, right? When you got somebody in the family that is obviously struggling, it's like, all right, you know what? For the betterment, I'm going to sit up there and step in and do this. You got a lot of black men, and this is why I stated in the video before. You got a lot of black men in the black community that are like, nah, that's still not my responsibility, blood or not. They ain't my responsibility because I ain't created that kid. I've literally heard men say that. I've literally heard men say that. And again, y'all wonder why it is that these young boys in the community are acting the way that they acting. Like I said, it's the craziest thing. It makes no sense to complain if you ain't gonna take action. Kay said, I got notebooks on how far I've come. That's good. That's good. That is good. Gil said, I swear they don't let Cedric get past 30. Yeah, like I said, they this is the funny part. So the 66 people, shout out to y'all that's on the original platform, 67 now. That can always get some exceeding numbers on, and that's a platform that hasn't been monetized in years. So the second channel, which is demonetized, um, still to this date, even though recently, like I told y'all before, how I tried to explain YouTube to you guys, I've had a multitude of people that have subscribed directly to the platform. You've seen me go to about 15 to 16. I was at 15 to 16K at one point, and roughly within a month time span, I made it all the way up to like 30 or 31K, right? And even with all of those people subscribing, some of the live streams, y'all were seeing people subscribe back to back or throughout the period of the live stream. Even with all of that going on, YouTube is like, yeah, that's great. We're not going to give them notifications to your live stream or anything of that sort. Even for the people that are actually that have been consistently subscribe to your platform and got everything, all the notifications turned on, we're still not going to sit up there and give and send out notifications. So this is why you see that number always at like a 30, and then it starts dropping and dipping down to like 15, 19, and then it'll go back up to 25, flush back down, maybe hop back up to 30, flush back down. Like I said, it's crazy. I technically have an active channel, but when I go live, it almost seems like it's inactive. Like I have no subscribers. It's the craziest thing. It is 100% the craziest thing ever in life. Like I said, I love doing videos because I get to document a lot of stuff. I get to 100% document a lot of the stuff that I just so happen to go through to use it, case in point for examples. What was it? Kay said, things changed since I was little. I remember in Detroit being able to go up to the neighbor's house when I was locked out and etc. It's not like that no more because nobody cares. I mean, that's the black community in general. When you look at, like black families, that's how it is. A lot of black families, like you could be, trust me, let me tell you the story. When at a moment in time in my life where I didn't, in a sense, I lost the place where I resided, and I had to be in a hotel, and that was about like, and that was during the time when I was, working or whatever. Um, that was about 500 a week, and I was stressed out for like months because I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna be able to keep this up. I'm not gonna be able to, like afford this. Like it ain't gonna happen. Right. And this is me trying to, I'm doing my own thing, right? Away from like, everybody else and all that. And I'm consistently stressed out. I'm afraid. It was like, yo, it's gonna come to that point in time. It's like, yo, I got my clothes and stuff in the bag. Like, yo, I'm just gonna be put out. I'm gonna be working, but I'm not gonna have a home. Right. And the main people that rolled up, one of my friends rolled up that knew my situation. And she in a sense, like, told me to let her know like how much or whatever. I didn't take that offer out of, respect and everything like that. I didn't sit up there and take that offer. It was just the fact that the person even pulled up and was just like, yo, I'll Western Union the money that you need. Right. Those are real people. Right. And I sat up there, and the main women, that backed me are the main ones that I talk about on this platform. So that's my mom, my grandmother, rest in peace, and my aunt. All three of them, along with the money that I was able to get, allowed me to sit up there and do what it is that I needed to do. Now I know how my grandma, talks, and she'll mention stuff to people or try to enlist the help of other people. And the two men that I look up to, that I've talked about here directly on this platform, I didn't hear no word from them, nothing, nothing. And that immediately, when that took place, that let me know exactly who people are. This is why I sat up there and stated that there needs to be more positive black men directly in the community. Like I said, you don't gotta be no father. You can just be there. But like I said before, what y'all don't realize is that with a lot of young guys out here, once we sit up there and see one thing like that basically takes place, all faith is lost, and they ain't coming back. Because the one time that we felt like we could actually sit up there and like actually like look towards you, we've been looking up to you for like years, looking up to you as like strength, as this, as that, and all this other type of stuff. But the one time we actually needed you, don't ask you for like nothing. The one time it was like, yo, you ain't pull up, you ain't roll nothing, nothing. And I was in there for months, probably about 4 to 5, almost 6 months. I was there 500 a week. Like I said, the only person that I could really technically say that looked out for me are those women, my friend, and also technically the Indian guy that owns that establishment, because he worked with me to try to, have like a low price, because I let him know exactly what it is, and he worked with me. Those are the only people that sat up there and actually, in a sense, looked out for me. So, like I said, you gotta when you look at black families, the black community is a reflection of the black families directly out here. The dysfunction, the amount of anger, the amount of crime, all this other type of stuff. That's what it is. But black people, I'm sorry, black individuals refuse to see that, because everybody wants to quote unquote say that they're individual. So because everybody's individuals, we got to deal with everything happening on an individual by individual basis. We can't deal with it as in like a group think, or to try to come together to formulate a plan, because again, we don't got a community. That's why Brother Ice Cube's plan did not come to fruition as it should, because he was trying to make a plan for a community that didn't exist. Black people showed that community didn't exist because they didn't roll up to back up his plan. That was a man that put himself in a leader position. That's a man that came up with a plan, that did his best to enact that plan the best way that he knew how. And all black people did on social media was tear him down. All black people set up there, they called him a traitor. They called him this. They called him that. Like I said, black people are the worst ones. Black people the worst ones. Yo, Kid Gravity, what is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? What's up? What is going on? So, like I said, I can have, disagreement with, brothers on here. A lot of times I've sat up there and had disagreements, and I've still sat up and much respect, much love, appreciation, all this other type of stuff, and yada yada yada. Because at the end of the day, I want people to make it. But I've realized that you can want the best for people, but people don't really want the best for you. So this is when I pull back on a lot of the things that I normally stated, because I sit back and I sit up there and watch as everything is basically taking place. And I'm like, you can start to see, certain things transpire. You can start to see the way that people move and all this other type of stuff. I'm like, okay, I get it now. I see. Like I said, some of the same ones again that wanted to roll into the previous videos that I've done, magically they're not here. We got 70 people on an old platform and we got 34 people on a new platform. I'm pretty sure some of those people are sitting there directly in the background, just listening. Like I said, I expected, regardless on if you're in the background or whatever it is, I expected y'all to sit up there and roll up and start typing like y'all normally do. When y'all want to sit up there and disagree with me and everything it is that I've been saying about Umar and all this other, I expected y'all to sit up there and roll up. Because we're going to do a comparison check, because I'm going to sit up there and have what Ice Cube is doing in comparison to what it is that you're doing. And we're going to see how that matches up. We're going to look at somebody who is taking action versus people that just talk. Like I said, it's crazy. K. Williams said the parties did also curve him, though. But see, this is the problem, though. He shouldn't have to. This has been the point that I've stated in a multitude of my videos. Him as a black man, we've seen Ice Cube go through whatever, how it is that he came about and all this other type of stuff. We've seen the transition, right? And he's roughly been the same dude since the very beginning, right? He's just chilled on, the aggression, how he used to be, right? He shouldn't have to sit up there and go to white people to finance anything. That's been my point. But black people are so lazy and refuse to sit up there and actually support somebody black. This is what he has to do. He has to sit up there and move around to these different areas and do all of this other type of stuff that he should not have to do, because he should be able to come to the black community and be like, yo, I got this GoFundMe. Y'all can throw whatever y'all can. We'll just have it up there up until the goal is met. And then we're going to sit up there and work from there. This will be a community thing that we building. He should be able to do that. But he can't do that because the black community ain't going to sit up there and roll up as they should. But we'll make sure to sit up there and roll up to the next Super Bowl. We'll make sure to sit, if we can't roll up to it, we'll watch it. We'll make sure to sit up there and roll up to a concert at an establishment of which we don't own, paying for tickets at the Ticketmaster and all this other type of stuff. We'll make sure to sit up there and roll up for everybody else. But if somebody is actually giving us love and support and respect and value and making plans in order to better us as a community, as a supposed community, and not individuals, we're not sitting up there showing up to support. Because black people at the end of the day don't respect, value, and love themselves. They don't. I done enough stories, seen enough stories, showing enough videos, everything that has shown me that. Living in the black community, I haven't seen this. You might have had certain iterations of generations that loved, respected, and valued and cared about each other, but that was it. Once those generations were gone, that was it. Now, this is what we got. Nothing but a ticking time bomb. That's it. That's it. Like I said, it's crazy. The black community is literally waiting for a white Superman to come through and save them. That's amazing to me. Y'all want the same people to save y'all, who are the same people that enabled certain things to transpire and happen historically. It's the most stupidest, backwards, and like I said, this is why I love the fact that Ice Cube has created his own the big three. That's dope. That's hard. That's the hardest thing I've seen out here because you got so many black men out here that watch the NBA and they can literally put their money together. All of them times they done spent on season tickets trying to get those front row seats and all this other type of stuff and trying to dress and look good like they're celebrities sitting in the front, got they drink. Y'all could have put all that money up over the years and y'all could have helped finance some of the stuff that Ice Cube was doing, but y'all opted not to do it. But because y'all don't see the value and the worth. But let a white man sit up there and let a white man sit up there and put like 50 to 100 million in there. And then Ice Cube is like, yo, we need some more money. So if you want to donate, then y'all want to start donating. But like I said, y'all don't believe in another black man up until the white man believes in him. And then even when if you got somebody white that's legitimately just trying to support, now y'all trying to sit up there, oh, that person compromised. Well, they wouldn't have the image of being compromised if y'all would sit up there and actually start supporting people. Like I said, the shit is crazy. That shit is 1,000% crazy. And let me tell y'all something. This is just for a further for some of the people directly out there. If at any moment in time that you start a platform, don't do what I did. If at any moment in time that you start a platform and you got people willing to sit up there and support you, you might as well just sit up there and go for broke. Because if you sit up there and try to wait for black people to roll up to the scene, you're gonna be waiting for the third coming of Jesus. And I'm just gonna be 1,000% upfront with you. You're gonna be sitting up there waiting. You're going to be sitting up there waiting. Because let me tell you, if at any moment in time that you start doing a platform, it don't matter what it is, you're going to have people that are going to hit you up that will try to sit up there and they'll be like, hey, we seeing what you're doing, yada yada yada. Right? One of the dudes I had in the background, they were black. They were on Shark Tank. They rolled up to the scene. They was like, yo, man, we see you got a platform. This was the older platform when I was sitting up there getting views and stuff. They rolled up there to the scene. They was like, yo, man, we'll sit up there and, offer you, such and such amount of money for, like a commercial, whatever it is that you'll sit up there and do for, over, whatever videos they wanted to do this product or whatever. I don't got no problem sitting up there doing that, trying to help out somebody. I'm like, yo, that's all right, cool, no problem. I kid you not, I held about the videos that I felt during that time would have actually gotten views. I held those back and I waited for the material or whatever it was so that they can send me so that I can do it so that we can, get everything, straightened out and all this other type of stuff. Never showed up. So I held off because I thought that I was going to be sitting up there benefiting and working with black people. But it was a waste of time. So then in comes another opportunity to sit up there and make money, but it's with other folks, Asians. And it was like, hey, we see your platform, all this other type of stuff. We was wondering if you would like to, sit up there and work with us, yada, 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 all this other type of stuff. So I sat up there and gave my own people a shot. But then when it came to everybody else, I directly shut them down because I'm like, yo, I ain't trying to be controlled. I ain't trying to be looked at as being compromised and all this other type of stuff, yada, yada, yada. So I didn't sit up there. I didn't act on that. Didn't act on it at all. And in both situations, I sat up there and lost money. I lost money, number one, because I believed in my own people, expecting something to actually go through, and it didn't. I had stuff on hold, which could have potentially sat up there and got me, stuff anyway. And then number two, because I loved and cared about my people and I cared about that perception, I opted not to sit up there and do something that could potentially have benefited me more and lost out money there. So all I'm sitting up there saying from the experiences of what I've set up there and gone with, go for broke, because you never know what can happen with your platform or what have you, right? Because at one moment people will sit up there and support you, at the next moment people won't sit up there and support you. So at the end of the day, just like you created the platform by yourself and you do the content by yourself, and you're with yourself every single day by yourself, after this platform and everything else is said and done, you're still going to be by yourself. So it will behoove you to always remember that. Because remember, at the end of the day, everybody got their own lives and all of these other types of things. And people are going to make sure to look out for themselves first, regardless of whatever it is that you're sitting up there doing. Regardless of whatever it is that you sit up and say, you can be saying the greatest things in the world. That does not mean that the people are going to automatically roll through, support, and help you when you need help. You got to be the one to sit up there and look out and help yourself. So that's all I'm saying. For other people out here that might have a platform, you might, whatever options that you get, look at those options. Look at those options and try to get the most directly out of those options, and make sure that you got money for a rainy day. That's all I'm saying. Kid Gravity, Kid said he needs to come talk to us in the Black Grassroots. I've been trying to get him on my platform since 2020 to speak on these issues. Well, you are in luck, good sir. Because Ice Cube has stated that he's going to be going on a lot of platforms. He's going to be talking to everybody. So do your best. Go directly on whatever. If it's a Facebook, if it's an IG, if it's a YouTube video, you got to be the one to sit up there and hound them down to try to get that interview. That's what you're going to have to sit up there and do to try to get ahead of everybody else. So you got a greater chance than 2020 to potentially get in contact and have them directly on your platform. I believe you can sit up there and do it. You're just going to have to really, be sending those emails every single week. Like I said, like, in order for me to have gotten the job that I had before, I literally had to keep calling that job continuously to the point where they were getting annoyed. Like when I called, like, hey, such and such, hey, yeah, we know it's you. You got to do that. You have to, the persistence, I'm telling you, persistence pays off. It's the realest thing out here in the world. Persistence pays off. You just got to sit up there and keep going. You can do it. I fully 100% believe you can sit up there and do it. And the time is now. Gail said, this is making me nauseous, not sedgy, but the content of the commentary. Hey, Kate said, no, we have a terrible habit of waiting for someone else to do it and then try to take credit for it as a collective. Yeah, yep, yep, yep. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. That's what always happens. That's what always happens. The moment in time, like they didn't believe in somebody, but the moment in time that something works, it was like, man, I knew all along he'll sit up there and do it. Man, I really sit up there and back that brother. I've been a fan of Cube like since like the '90s. Like, yeah, man, I tried to get his record, I couldn't sit up, and I'm like, man, bruh, that type of stuff is tiring. Like, yo, that type of stuff, yo, that type of man, bruh. The stories. The stories. Oh man, the stories. Let me tell you something. Uh but yeah, like I said before, man, it's just it's 1,000% crazy. Everything that's going on out here, it's a part of a larger symptom. It's part of a larger symptom. It it really is. Again, for people who like this commentary, who like this platform, like this mug here, you can clear cut donate to the platform if you would like by clicking the links directly in the video description below, or in, I'm just going to put these directly in the chat if I can actually find and get directly to them. Because like I said, the brother's doing this for clear cut free. FREE, that spells free. If I knew the rest of the song, I would actually sit up there and sing it, but I don't. What was that credit report? FREE, that spells free. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't sit up there and do that. Look at that. YouTube was like, yeah, we're not going to let you reapply. And I contacted them and let them know that that button is completely grayed out. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. Oh boy. Let me tell you, it's really something. Let me put these links down there. I ain't gonna put like the t-shirt stuff down there. I just put these directly down in the comment section there. Let me see. Hopefully this will space that out. Let me see. Hopefully it looks all right. Yeah. So again, if people would actually like to support and donate directly to the platform and the channel, you can do it by way of that. I'm not talking to the haters. You do enough just by sitting up here, sitting in silence, and sitting in the background, wishing on my downfall. Like I said, you're doing more than enough. I gotta give you the clap. Doing more than enough. Doing more than enough. Kid Gravity said I just emailed him directly. That's dope. Like I said before, man, you can more than likely do it. You just got to be persistent, and you have to just keep going after it. It's like the movie with Kevin Costner from like the 90s. If they build it, they will come. You just got to be persistent. You see you see the plan, you see the dream, you see the blueprint. All you got to do is just take action, regardless on however crazy it might seem, or you're just throwing something directly out there in the dark. It's like, hey, you can throw something out there in the ocean, it's still gonna hit something. It's just a matter of time. you know but yeah, hopefully, things will actually get better. Hopefully things will actually get better. I would technically, for the 60, not saying that you have to or anything like that, for the 60 and the almost 30, almost like what, about got like 90 plus or whatever here. For all of y'all that are basically here, let me know how y'all feel about some of the topics that I covered. Let me know how y'all feel about the format. Let me know, what state y'all coming in directly from. Like I said, we got to get to know each other sometime. Just saying, don't be afraid. Ain't no reason to sit up there and be directly shook. I don't harm nobody. I don't harm nobody. You know, People started dipping off real quick. It was like, wait, he wanted to start typing stuff? Oh no. It is no reason to sit up there and be scared to sit up there and write anything at all. And this is when the chat clearly dies directly in the live stream. Oh boy, just trying to sit up there and get people to potentially talk is crazy. But since obviously nobody wants to potentially talk or anything like that, I mean, other than the people that have been here, not talking about y'all, talking about everybody else. What what we're going to do here is we're just going to end the stream at 2 minutes and 48 seconds. And we're going to sit up there and just call that a day. If people need to catch up on the stream, they will be able to catch up directly on it. I'm about to sit up there and probably find me something to eat or order a book off of Amazon or something. And, you know, do something. But anyways, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all of you guys who stayed and listened, who came through in the platform. Some of y'all who have donated directly by Cash App, PayPal, and through the Patreon. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Love you guys a lot. Care about you guys. Want y'all to be completely fine and dandy. Have a great day. Wait, what is today? I'm slipping right now. What's today? Today is Monday. So yeah, make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a nice work week. Have a nice work day. I'll probably see y'all, somewhere during the week with another live stream, some of that nature. I've been technically doing less videos and more live streams, and just putting the stuff directly, in there. Yeah, again, June is men's mental health. So for the men out there, take care of your health. Go see a therapist. Go talk to somebody. Um, don't look at the end as the best result. Always look forward to tomorrow. Try to find something, to really, keep you focused and level headed. Um, I guess that's it. Much love and respect and appreciation to all in attendance. And I will see you guys next time on the next live stream. I forgot where the button is. Let me see. How do you? Oh, there we go.